we dearly and gladly want to welcome you to our broadcast here, Focus on Liberia. And to those of you who join us already and have been waiting for the broadcast, on behalf of all my studio guests and co-host, Mr. D. Floflomo, want to wish you uh, happy 4th of July. It is the Independent Days of the Great United States of America. We want to say to you
Yes.
all, happy 4th of July. We are happy to be here. And we want to say thank you for joining us to share, the last part of your 4th of July with us. Welcome, 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 and thank you for joining us. Please join us also by sharing the show so that we can go into the conversation. Again, I'm Anthony Sie. D. Flomo is partnering with Focus on Liberia in having this conversation. Our topic, as you can see on the screen, is Jemima Wolokollie's expulsion and termination. That is what we will be going into. To discuss this very important topic, we have Ambassador Roosevelt Dan as our guest. We also have CDC Chairman Emeritus Mr. Joseph Tamajasin, who is no longer a member of that political party he had loved for so many years, but such is the time, such is politics. We have the only lady in the house. She is known on Facebook as DJ Finest. She is somebody who supports the president agenda. He supports the government also. And the provocative sedition, as I call him, Mr. Prince Sharif, is also in studio. And we are here to have a conversation so that we can look at this whole issue of Jimaman's expulsion and termination from too many lenses for the Liberian people to get a better understanding of how it all went down. I will now welcome my partner here, Diflo. Diflo, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
I think I need to get a cup of water real quickly because this conversation gonna get juicy.
Go ahead, sister. You are in the hot seat for the rest of the night. Welcome. Good evening, Zelawu. Good evening, Bokurima. Good evening, fellow Liberians. And good evening to you, my brother and friend, and to see the Focus of Liberia. How is everything with you? How is the family doing?
Everything is going well. The man D Flow there, he's partnering with all here at Focus on Liberia. Let me welcome my guests one by one. Ambassador Dan, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shea and Mr. D Flow. I want to welcome all of our panel on board tonight. And thank you for having us on your show tonight.
Yes.
All right, and let us also welcome Joe Jackson. Mr. Joe Jackson, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you for the opportunity to end my July 4th Independent celebration on Focus on Liberia. Thank you very much.
All right, let's come to Mr. Prince Sharif. He's no stranger to the Focus on Liberia family. He comes here sometime to discuss the issue. Prince, welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Sie. And let me say thanks to the Focus on Liberia family for giving us this opportunity. And let me say happy 4th to our audience. In a special way, I want to say, take my hats up, to our sister, DJ Faniest, for her presence here. It is a privilege whenever we have female who have been left in the back for a very long time. So come in this kind of arena, we are privileged. And I want to say to my sister, who is one of the finest that Liberia can boast of, I salute you, my sister. And to our honorable chairman emeritus, honorable chairman, I take up my hands up to you, the big brother who I admire. I want to say, honorable chairman, happy 4th to you. And to all of you who are watching us from around the world, I want to say, my people, thank you very much for coming here to listen to us. And thank to the Focus on Liberia family again for giving us the opportunity to disagree so that we can agree in moving our nation forward. I am Prince and Sharif, and we are here to, pass the day. Thank you.
All right. And so we want to take the time to welcome the owner lady in the house, DJ Finance. That's the name I got to know for some time now. Welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here. It's an honor to be here. So, yes, thank you. And as you said earlier, I'm happy to share my voice as a female, to add the little one or two I know. So, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Because of time, we consume most of our time in getting this all started. And so we will not do the number introduction thing. I will try my best to say Ambassador Roosevelt Down is a Liberian. My understanding is that he hails from Nimba County. He has a podcast. There's an institution that is also advocating for peace in Liberia. Ambassador, I got some political secret that he's eyeing something. I don't want to be the one to put the man's secret outside. We'll find time to bring him here to talk about it. He's here, and like I said earlier, he is in the corner of the government. He believes that supporting your government is the right thing to do. Joseph Taman Jackson, long-time standing member of the CDC, who served in many capacities, including chairman, now declared as chairman emeritus. He's a friend to us here at Focus on Liberia. We disagree on the issue, but he's always happy to be here. DJ Finance is a Liberian, fine Liberian for that matter, who I got to know on Facebook listening to her. And she's saying, we got to support the president, we got to support the government. We all know Prince Sharif. He is the guy who doesn't hold back when it comes to supporting his government. But the issue we are here for is simple. Jemima Wolokollie has been expelled and terminated by the president. CDC told her, take the exit door. Why? She opened her mouth and said some things that the president and the party said, no, you can't say those things that loud in the open. And so you will feel arrived. And now she is out. Oh, really? Is she out? Yes, she's out. But hey, I don't want to take your time. Let me tell you what we're going to be talking about. We'll look at who is Jemima Wolokollie. We'll look at her political profile. What is her public character? We want to look at that. Does she have any dent on her political resume in terms of corruption? And then we'll come to the CDC. What is the Mama's Kwan with her party and the leaders in the party? And thereafter, we will look at what is CDC, the leaders, including the president, Kwan with Jemima Wolokollie, for which they have to let her know. There are many juicy things along the line we'll talk about, but we're going to get started. D. Flomo, get us started.
Thank you again. Thank you, my brother, and welcome, folks on Liberia. We are partnering with Focus on Liberia. My name is Deeplo from Mobolu II. I'm the lead host with Liberia Destiny Debaters with years of experience behind the microphone. I want to take this opportunity to say welcome to the hot seat to you all. Let's begin this process. CDC as an opposition political party, 12 years in opposition. We are 3 years into your government. Taman Jackson is not part of the process again. He's a chairman emeritus. My question will go straight to DJ Finance for the first time. Madam, what do you see as where we are as a nation after 12 years of your being in the opposition and 2 years coming in almost 3 years of your leadership, your presidency?
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for the question. Well, what I see when it comes to that, I see a president who is, although the government was, opposition for 12 years, when Madame Salih was in power, President Weah was on the other end of the game. So they were also campaigning, raising their awareness. And however way, they were doing it, was it the right way they went about it? From what I've heard, maybe not. But they did campaign and they were on opposition. Now, what did George Weah do whilst he was a senator in Liberia? And I did a little research on that. And I know George Weah was not sitting down, There was not he wasn't just complaining. So I know that the oppositions in Liberia during Madame Salih's time, Weah was also a senator. He was the senator of Motorado County. And I also know that Motorado County is the largest, and it is the most populated county in Monrovia, in Liberia period. Right now, Motorado County has almost 100.2+ million people over there, and majority of them are young people. So for George Weah to capture, their attention, then which means he was doing something that they liked. He was working with the community, meaning from what I got, from what I read a little bit when George Weah was a senator, he did try to work for the community.
I'm being told that there's no sound from my end.
No sound?
No, there's on the other screen that I'm being told that there's no sound. So let me check that out with Howard here.
Because I can hear you. Million people over.
No, there's a sound. That's how it's meant to go ahead. There's a sound there, but it's just a studio monitor.
You are loud. You are loud. Everybody is clear. Somebody just trying to confuse us.
Go ahead, madam.
Yeah, so I think
DJ Finance
of Madam Salif, as George Weah was at opposition,
DJ
he
Finance
was still active. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, DJ Finance. Let me. Our topic we clear. The topic is the expulsion of Jemima Wolokollie and her termination. That's why we're discussing. So the first question to start would be, what do you know about Jemima Wolokollie in terms of her political profile?
Well, I did a little research about her, and I know that George Weah elected her for the position that she has right now. Before, and that's a really major problem in Liberia, okay? So research people in Liberia, even government officials, is very difficult.
Did you mean to say President Weah appointed her or elected her?
No, I said President Weah gave her the position, from what I know.
Okay.
Right? Gave her that position, from what I know. And I know that her position, that the position that George Weah gave her is not a small position. It's not a position to take lightly. Was she qualified for the position? I think she showed signs of qualification. She does have a great educational background. I like her energy. I like the way she was motivated to work for the Liberian people. She gave George Weah a reason. Weah didn't put her in there just because she was sitting down. Weah put her in there because she actually had the qualifications to actually get into the position. But once she got into the position, 2 years, what has she done? What has she done? It's not about what did she do before anymore. It's about what has she done and what is she going to do? What is this woman doing in her position? Since she's been in power, we're still seeing the economy going down. The economy is not going up. If Liberians are complaining about being on the poorest list, this woman is part of the reason why we are on that list, because she is not doing her job. She was fired, from what I know. The opposition says she was fired because she was, talking bad about the government. She was going around, saying things she wasn't supposed to say. I don't think that's the major reason why this lady got fired. Let us stop the joking. Let us look at the direct point. This lady got fired, from what I read, because of fraud. She was actually charged with fraud. She committed a crime. Okay? She took money when it didn't belong to her. The government money, the money that she was supposed to use for a governmental project. This lady was using it for her own personal reason. She couldn't prove it. Fraud is not something we should take lightly. So I don't understand why.
DJ Finance, follow-up question. You're making a point that she was involved in some misdealings with money, but the CDC did not communicate that to the public, not until when she got expelled and fired. So somebody looking at it and say, oh, okay, you were trying to help to cover whatever wrong she might have done in the past because she was with you, but now you asked her to take the exit door. So now you are prepared to communicate what she did wrong. Don't you see those who are doing that, or the party or the government, as being like an accomplice here in whatever crime they're talking about now?
Yeah, but I see a government that's evolving. I see a government that's not standing still. I see the government changing. I see things getting better. I see a government that's learning. We all say the president is inexperienced. That's what most of us say. Oh, he's not experienced. So to me, he's learning. So he's learning from his mistakes. So maybe something happened then that they tried to cover up or whatever. I don't have proof of that. And the people that are talking about it don't have proof of that either. And these are all speculations we're putting out there.
Okay.
But one thing we do know for certain, that this lady committed fraud.
All right.
That I do for
Let me do a follow-up on that by reading this text from the site of the executive mansion. Since of course it says she was fired for corruption. This is what I have to ask, then I'll do a follow-up quick on that. It says here on the website of the executive mansion, it says here President George Manawias dismisses Jemima Wolokollie, June 30th, 2020. Says that Moreover, Liberia, the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Dr. George Manawias has dismissed with immediate effect Deputy Commerce Minister Jemima Wolokollie. It goes on to say in the second paragraph, Manawias' decision follows a string of actions incompatible with Deputy Minister Wolokollie's status as a senior government official. Third paragraph, the Deputy Minister Wolokollie was early suspended by the President for insubordination and unprofessionalism. The Liberian Chief Executive urged all officials of government who bear the public trust to conduct themselves properly. It did not say that she was dismissed for what? Corruption. But you are looking at it in the form of where is the communication from the executive mansion that she was dismissed for corruption?
All right. I don't know what article you're reading and when it came
out. From the website of the executive mansion.
All right. And when is that article? When was it posted?
It was published on the 30th of June.
DJ Fana, let's bring Prince in. Mr. Sharif, similar question to you. What is Jemima Wolokollie's political profile? What do you know about her as a partisan of CDC and as an official that you want to share with us?
All right. Again, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Let me start by saying that this president is the feminine in chief of Liberia, the first president ever in the history of Liberia with that title. On several occasions, it has been proven that he has given females the opportunity to exercise their political franchise. As you may be aware, for a very long time, our mothers and our sisters have been in the kitchen. The political class has, intentionally keep our mothers and our sisters at the back because they felt that that was the best position for them. But when this president established the CDC, she brought together every Liberian, inclusive of women. And Madam Jemima Wolokollie, the late Geraldine Doe Sharif, and scores of other women came on board. They were given the opportunity. When they were given the opportunity, this president, at the time when he was the leader, decided that, well, we cannot have a political institution that will be dominated by one gender. So Madam Wolokollie and others came on board and we started the process. She is one of those, founding members or one of those initial members of the party who contributed, immensely towards the growth and development of the party. But I remember when I was doing quizzing, we always used to say a word. And it may look funny at the time, but now I'm getting to understand the meaning. That the race is not to the swift, but only he that will endure unto the end and the very end. So, Madam Wolokollie,
why are you saying? Go to the meat.
Yeah, I'm coming there. As you may be aware, as a partisan, she played her role. But unfortunately, when it was the time to see the true partisans from those who came in because of some, political, let me just say, political motive. When the time reached for men to be tested And when the time reached for the goal to pass through the fire, again, I respect that. She was nowhere around. She took her exit. At the time, the CDC was looking for men and women that would stand in the gap.
Where did
was
she
nowhere
go,
around.
Prince? Jemima Wolokollie said she never left the party.
Let me tell you something, my brother C.
Mm-hmm.
There are many ways that people can go solo in a political arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't need to come out to say, I'm not there. But your action will prove that you are not there. Your action will prove. So Madam Wolokollie was absent. We all know what happened. She was absent.
Okay.
And we saw her own, support, her own involvement with the Unity Party. But
All
again,
right.
we are building
Granted,
Liberia.
did she commit any act of corruption that you know of, Prince?
See, let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
That corruption in itself
Mm-hmm.
should not be limited to finance.
Okay.
I understand when we talk about corruption, some people on the show here, the only place that man will run, hey, somebody finished stealing money. Hey, somebody not steal car.
Yeah.
But that is not corruption. Corruption is broad. Even on this show now, you can commit corruption or you can be corrupt on this show. For the fact that you will not give me the opportunity to exercise my political franchise and the time, that is corruption.
No, that's not corruption.
For example,
Prince, that's not corruption.
For example,
that's not corruption.
D-Flow, let the man learn.
No, that is corruption.
No, it's not.
That is corruption, D-Flow.
It's not an idol.
Somebody. That is corruption, D-Flow. That is corruption, D-Flow. That is corruption. That is corruption. Look at the definition of corruption. Look at the definition of corruption. It is not limited to money.
So please
basically corruption has to do with
profile.
What I'm trying to figure out.
So let
excuse
hello?
me.
Do I have the
With
floor?
this whole situation here with this lady, I'm just trying to figure out in the Liberian government with the opposition specifically, what exactly is the point that the opposition is trying to make?
We're not discussing the opposition today, DJ Finance. We're not discussing the opposition.
No, I'm talking about what you are saying right now when it comes to, because you keep, I feel like you keep referring to the fact that this lady was maybe just like the president just jumped up and fired her for no reason.
She is the topic today, DJ Finance. Look at the topic. Look at the topic. She is the
my brother see it.
Yeah, the topic is Jemima Wolokollie's expulsion and termination. So this show is all about her and her expulsion and termination, those who involve the president, the party. So let's stick to that.
Yeah, my brother
please conclude so we can go to
okay, Mr. fine, thank you. So when we talk about corruption, it is not limited to stealing money. No, when you look at the definition that the people put in the book, corruption, is not limited to that. It could be dishonesty. You could be dishonest in your character. You could be fraudulent in your conduct. You understand? You could be corrupt in your power. You could be corrupt in so many ways. So it is not limited to that. So let D-Flow understand that. It's not limited to that. Now,
and your conclusion?
So for some reason, she left. And when the CDC took over, because this president is keen in giving especially our mothers and women the opportunity, he called women on board, and she was included to come and serve in this government.
In just few seconds, what is the woman political profile? Do we know we have many here so that others will talk?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, please conclude.
Basically, her political profile, she was with the CDC. She went solo. When this, party won the election, she was called on board, and she served in the capacity as a deputy, at the Ministry of Commerce, where she was serving until, her dismissal because of acts that are inappropriate, with the conduct of an official of government. That's what I can say about it.
And let me be a controversial person, Prince. Do you know how to be a controversial person politically?
Well, again, when you say controversial, it's broad. But I think men in nature, we are controversial beings. So we are always controversial.
That will answer my question, Prince. Thank you. Let's come to Mr. Dan. Mr. Dan, the topic here is the expulsion of Jemima Wolokollie and her termination. But we first want to know who is she? The little you know about her political life, her political resume or profile. what do you know this woman to be, or who do you know this woman to be politically? Mr. Dan.
Oh, I thought you were still talking to Prince. Sorry, Mr. Seal.
Yeah, Prince Leonard.
So let's do time sharing, 2 minutes each across, so we
Yes.
can have enough time, please. We have to go to our callers in after 1 hour of grading.
Yeah.
Okay, we are just discussing the first paragraph, right? The first 3 questions, right?
Yeah, the first 3 questions. Who is she? I mean, who is she? Sorry, who is she politically? What's her political resume or profile? What do you know about her? Is there anything called corruption that is on her character that you know of?
Well, thank you so much for that question. I don't actually know much about the lady until she came up on OKFM the other day to talk about what happened between she and some party hierarchy. That's the time I've been hearing her name, but I don't know much about her. But what I do know is she is a politician. She is a politician that's been working for the party, within the party, CDC, on a lot of different committees. And according to her, she said she wanted to do that for the CDC. And I talked to other people who said yes, she would want to do when the CDC started, they all were part of that. And on her profile, what I read from there is she's one of the hard-working person. I've been working for the CDC, one of the committed person. But to know in detail some of the corruption that she had done, I don't know much about that.
No records.
Until a termination letter that came, that's the time when I knew that she did something in the party that the people were not satisfied, and they investigated her, and she was found guilty. So I think they gave her a warning letter before the other case came in.
Yeah, she was suspended before.
I know about her. Yeah, she was suspended, and then they brought her back. That's all I know about her.
And how does she come across to you, listening to her and reading other communication? What's your impression? What feeling did you get? You think she's an honest person politically, or she's a troublemaker?
Based on her talk, I don't know. People's character can be different. The way they talk sometimes is different.
That is true.
But when I listen to her talk, it shows that somebody who is very challenging, very, very challenging. Somebody who defy all. And I don't know whether she had done that before, but according to what she explained to the public, it seems to be that she's somebody very, very challenging.
All right, she's a tough woman. Let's come to Joseph Taman Jackson and we'll go to the man D-Flow. Joe, this is your party we're talking about, even though you're no longer there, we'll stick it on you. I would think that sometime during your time with the party, you may have crossed line with Jemima. If not, what do you know about her politically and her political resume that you're willing to share?
Well, just for the record again, please, I have this is not my party any longer. I'm an independent matter person now, so let's just get that straight. Who is Jemima Wolokollie? Jemima Wolokollie, she is a very strong and fine female in our Liberian setting, who was one of the founding members of the CDC in 2004 to 5. She has a very good human character, I would say. As a female, she's a very strong female. She's from a very good family, the Wolokollie. We all heard about Dusty Wolokollie, one of the strong Liberian politicians then in our country. Do I know anything about her being into any corrupt? I would say no. I've never heard of anything except for the most recent allegation that was leveled against her. Of course, we'll be talking about that once we get to the topic, as you outlined there. The very first time that I met Jemima in person, also I was at Minister McGill's house sometime last year when she was suspended, I guess. I was there and she walked in there and the introduction was made between us. And that's it. We I didn't have no personal relationship with her, but I just know her to be one of the strongest female in Liberia who speak up her mind on things, because she did it with Ellie Justice Salib also when she worked in the government. So yeah, that's all I can say about her. Corruption, I don't know her personal life, and I have not heard anything about corruption on her except for the most recent incident that we're going to be talking about.
Thank you. And D-Flow, you've been in this business. You have had the opportunity to interview some of the political figures that play the game of politics in our country. What have you come to understand about Jemima Wolokollie, political profile, record, her political image? What do you know you're willing to share?
You know, Jemima, Madam Wolokollie is one of the few Liberian women that you can point to that she's a no-nonsense person. Okay. She did not come to the political party called CDC as in coming to the party. She's a founding member of CDC. That is what I know, and that is what people have said to me. And that is what she explained to us that is on record here. We also know her that in our setting, she said, in a Liberia politics, people are not allowed to express themselves, especially what they call party doctrine, party discipline. In the CDC, when they say party discipline is keep everything under the rug. You are not supposed to expose corruption. You're not supposed to expose majority as handpicking people. So Jemima Wolokollie as an individual, I think she's one of our best. But to the issue, my question to DJ Finance is this. DJ Finance, the president said she was suspended, she was dismissed. He dismissed her on what? Cross insubordination on what? Professionalism. What is professionalism? Your definition of professionalism. What is
I'll give you an example. Exactly. Yeah. This lady is not a professional at all.
Like how?
I'll give you an example right now. This is a woman who has work to do. You see, when you are dealing with a president who is looking forward to rebuilding a war-torn country, we don't have time to waste behind women that claim they are strong, and then when they get in the position, they want to sit back and they want to follow and listen yes sir to what the guys are telling them. Now this lady here, this woman, from what I'm watching on her page, since 2019, this lady has been attacking her own government officials. She attacks Moluba Malu. She talks about how he's not a great leader, and she's doing this publicly. You don't do that as a government official. And if anyone in this Liberian government think this is the act, this is the way a government official is supposed to carry herself, a woman who has so much work to do, in 2019, this lady could have been busy bringing import and export, bringing goods, making sure that the Liberian economy is flowing. That's her job. She needs to regulate the economy. That's that lady's job. So she was not doing her job. Everything she's writing on her page is all about fighting against her own government. While you are pointing finger at someone for being a bad leader, but what are you showing? What are you showing? So the difference between her and maybe Moluba Malu is Mr. Moluba was talking, but he was working. And you can see she was talking and she's not working, and you can see that's the difference. So the lady is not professional, and she was misusing money. It says that from the article I read. She was misusing the funds.
All right, let's do this, guys. Guys, let's do this. So you, the panelists, we are about to play a little clip about Jemima explaining herself on the issues that we're talking about. It will just be short. To you, the panelists, if you want to listen to it, if you have a second device, you can do so through that. Or else, when we come back, I will be able to share that with you. So I'm going to play that clip, and then we will come back. Let's watch.
And you are
unless otherwise order.
And you are a member of the Coalition for Democratic Change.
I'm not a member. I'd like to clarify that today.
Okay.
Yes. I am a founding member of the Democrat. I didn't join.
Oh.
So I'm a founding member. You
wow.
know, there's a difference. People come and say, oh, you joined, you wanted a member. No, I'm a founding member. We organized that great party which is today that few people want to or to just hijack. And it's unacceptable. It will never happen again. It was, but it won't happen again.
Who are the few people that want to hijack it?
Jefferson Koji, you got Akaris Gray, you got Moluba Modu, and you got Thomas Fowler. Some other names, but I don't want to be bothered with other names. But those are the big four.
Are they not important?
I didn't say that. I said they want to hijack.
No,
in fact,
I'm saying
they have hijacked the party over the years, and now there's the time that they must let go. They must do things the correct way and the right way, and I'm not afraid.
I am talking about the other names that you did not mention. Are they not very important?
They are important, but to me, the big four.
The big four
are the people that I just named.
The big four.
Yeah.
But Akaris Gray just resigned his post as vice chairman of the party.
When did he realize that he had to resign to give other people the chance? When Jemima Wolokollie spoke on Sky FM, that's when you got to realize that you people have hijacked the party over the years and have not given other people a chance to show the ability to work for the party. When do you get to realize that, Akaris? But anyway, congratulations that you resigned. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, what is it? When you said they hijacked, what is it really? Do you want to describe it to the public?
Yes.
What it means to hijack the party?
Yes. I'm not going to make it long. I will make it very simple and short. Hijacking of our party means to me and other people, whatever they say should go, it should be the final.
Okay.
Whatever they say should be the final. Second, they want to be the police director. They want to be the minister of justice. They want to be the mayor of the city. They want to be minister of internal affairs. They want to be, you can name it. That's what they want to be. They want to be everything. It is totally wrong. You cannot have 4% hijacking such a mighty party that was funded by great men and women, and our children who have grown up. Yes, I have respect for them. Don't get me wrong. I have great deal of respect for them, but the way in which they have operated the party over the years is what I have problems with. And I have problems for a very long time. But now is the time to speak out.
They will say that they have been carrying the party on their shoulders. They have gone to jail. They have fought political battles. When some of you weren't there, you might have been a founding member, but going through all of this.
Good. All right, folks, in cyberspace, we are back with you here at Focus on Liberia, and we try to play a little clip there to hear from Jemima herself. And those of you who have had the opportunity to watch the entire interview, I did, and I want to share something with us because of time. We'll listen to it, then we'll not have our panelists to go into it. The first thing is that she accused in CDC as a political party of always hijacking the primary process in the party. She said that is the history of the CDC. Specifically, she talked about 4 persons, she said, that have hijacked the party: that Molu, that Gray, that Koji, and somebody else whose name I can't grab right now. She said these 4 individuals are the ones that hijacked the party, and they want to decide who be Minister of Finance, Minister of this, what should happen here and there. That is her accusation against her party. And it all started with her making the decision that she wanted to contest the primary there in Monserrado County. And she said at some point she got to know that the party was more like going with Thomas Fowler. She had the impression that the president, being known as a feminist in chief, she felt she had the blessing of the president, but to just find out that it is completely different, that's how come she went out. And then she referred to some people in the party as being the alligators. Prince will tell us who are the alligators in the party. She said that Mamba Molu is also serving illegally as a chairman. He was, I think, elected to complete Maga's term. That was 2 years term, and that has passed, and there has not been convention. So Mamba Molu should not be chairman right now. They should have gone to convention to produce a new chairman. And Mamba Molu leadership is completely poor. She doesn't think Mamba Molu is a good leader at all. And then she has a group called the Liberian in Support for Democratic Change as an auxiliary of the CDC. And she said this is the group that have been upheld to even Mamba Molu So all that press conferences you see, she the one can help from her Zuno heads, from the auxiliary, and on and on. So basically, she's accusing a party of being selective when it comes to primary processes, deciding who be a candidate for CDC. And she is also saying some people have hijacked the party in the CDC. That is her accusation against the party, and the party got angry, for her saying that in the open. They spare her, and the president went as far as terminating us. I mean, our panelists now will come in and weigh in to share what they know too. And so let's start with this time. Let's start with Chairman Joe Jackson. I continue to call you Chairman Jackson. Mr. Jackson, sorry about
The
that.
man is no more chairman. The man left the club. He left that
Don't keep giving our chairmanship to the man. The man left for already. I beg you, man.
People, so
the man
Mr.
left
Garcia,
in a deep sea. The man left in the middle of the sea.
So Chairman Jackson, you were in the party. You know the leadership A to Z. It's a wrong for an individual in the party, having had this experience for so long, to come in the open and criticize the party openly. Is that a crime within the laws of the CDC, or constitutionally? Is there anything wrong that she did for which she have to take the exit door and even be fired by the president?
Let me start off first of all by saying I don't think the president was wrong for firing her. The president has the right, no matter how you want to look at it. He appointed her. He can wake up in the morning and decide to dismiss all his ministers or government officials. That's his right.
Okay.
The only problem I got there was, why is it that the party executive have to wait for the president to fire this woman before they come and expel her from the party? I think that was totally wrong. It's unacceptable. And if Madam Jemima Wolokollie is listening to this tape, or if anybody can share this with her, I think she needs to take the party to court, because they infringe on her right for association, because she's a member, and not only an ordinary member, but a founding member of this party. If there was any allegation that was leveled against her, or she committed any crime for that matter, I think she should have been brought in to the executive and goes through the regular process. But there was no process of investigation on her. They never invited her, according to her, to actually ascertain the fact from her about those loan that we're talking about. See, so I think it was wrong by the executive committee of the CDC USA, and she needs to go to court. And if she goes to court, I will tell you for sure she'll win that case
Chairman Jackson
against them.
Joe.
Yeah.
So
Point of injection. Point of injection.
Hold on,
Before we
guys.
go ahead.
Joe,
What kind of
Mr.
what you talking about?
Mr. Jackson still got some of the 2 minutes on his time. Mr. Jackson, you got 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to throw in one question there. She said that a 4 individual, Gray, Monlu, Koji, and somebody else have hijacked the party. Is that something that you know of, because you were there?
Well, I would not want to agree to that, because you find these things happening in every political party. There will always be people who will step up to the front and be the leader of the party. You know what I mean? Right. So yes, those people are the leader of the party. Maybe she might have some personal agreement with the way the leadership is, which I will agree with her to some extent, because why I say that leadership don't have no female in there. So I think that's where her frustration is coming from. And again, it's all come down to us African. We always afraid of strong women. We are afraid of strong women. But I think the leadership of CDC right now, they need to come up to have a strong female in the middle there, than to just have all these strong men. But it's just common. It's common. You go to a United Party, you find the same thing. You go to ANC, you find the same thing, and the rest of the other political party in Liberia. But I mean, I was make a strong recommendation on this show tonight. I know some of the executive are watching this show. Look, they try to get some strong female in the middle. We always afraid of strong female who always come out to speak out their mind. And I think that's where the frustration is coming from with that lady speaking like that.
Thank you. Let's come to DJ Finance. My sister, I want to ask you this question. This is a female trying to voice out about something she's not satisfied with in her party. Her key criticism is the way They decide their candidate behind the curtain, and then they come to the camera and say, we are having a primary, this person. There is a fact that can be proven any day. And that's why she's criticizing, because this time she had interest in the primary. And then she voiced it out. Because of her open criticism, the party now expelled her. Now she lost her job. The question is about free speech. So you think her free speech here was not being stifled by the party and the president? Because all she did was to express herself that this is not right, I can't take it.
Well, I think she's entitled to her opinion, that's for sure. But the way she went about it, you know, and when you give me such information, you need to come with facts. And I don't think she was telling the truth. Number one, when she said that Mr. Moluba is in his position illegally, you know, but yet he was appointed that position because they needed someone to fill in the position. So in other hand, this man was actually doing two jobs. You know, he was actually working and filling in a position that they needed him to fill in. So he was not in that position illegally. So whether it was 2 years, well, they haven't had anyone to replace him. So that right there is misinformation, you know, and that's a problem. We need to pay attention to those things. So it let me know that this woman speaks out of anger. She speaks as if she's against her own party. And we need to not be okay with that in Liberia. Just because you disagree with how your government or maybe your colleague is working, talk to them personally if it's something that you feel like you and them can have a one-on-one conversation with. And if you're going to come out in the public, then you need to speak facts. So she wasn't speaking the truth because he's not illegal, you know, illegally in that position. The position was given to him, and they have yet to find someone to fill in that position. So that let me know that she was talking out of anger. And she says here that some people are hijacking, you know, the Mr. Moluba and other people. Yes, I get it. That happens to me in every party. So, you know, that's something you got to be tough. And yes, she can speak about it. She should feel free to speak her mind if something is bad with her, because I know, as the only woman or one of the few, you know, I know she's going through a lot to put her voice out there. I'm a woman. I know how the men can attack me. So I know what she's going through. But I feel like instead of her speaking to directly to maybe Weir, as if George Weir is the cause, let her speak individually or directly to these guys and try to see how you can work out your differences or something in that field.
Thank you, DJ Finance. You're 2 minutes out.
All right.
Yes,
Thank you. Let's come to Prince Sharif. Sorry, Sharif. Mr. Sharif, you are in there. You are in the arena of the party. These criticisms.
No, I'm not. A point of correction. I'm not in the arena of the party. I'm a member.
Prince
you are
Sharif,
a member of the
that's
party.
my language. Please disagree
Okay.
with it,
Arena is
but
the
don't
same
tell me
as
what to
membership
say.
anyway.
You are in the arena of the party. All right. So these are criticisms from Jemima Wolokollie. Is the party being hijacked by the 4 individuals she mentioned? Is Chairman Molu operating illegally as chairman? And also, don't you think that her free speech is something that she's being punished for?
My brother CA, being a female, it is not a license. I repeat, being a female, it is not a license to be disgruntled. You can dissatisfy with people, yes. CDC is one of the political institutions that has always encouraged people to express their opinion within the party. Always, we've been open. The former chairman is here. He knows that very well. There are people in this party who disagree with issues, and they are there. But it doesn't mean because you are a female, so it means that you must be inappropriate and you must start to attack people. And let me say this. It doesn't also mean because when you are angry and you say something, so it means that it is the fact. For example, look at our brother there around here who called himself opposition. They are angry. They say, President, we are still 16 billion and carry to us. Is that a fact? Somebody said, oh, and Samuel Tuwe took money and put it on your back and carry it to Nukuta to go share it. Is that the fact? Let me tell you something, my brother. You see, in politics, you know true politicians when it comes to their emotion and how they act. Your anger does not give you the right to just come and levy allegation. And those of you who say you are press people or you are practicing, you must also be able to bring people to the book to ask for evidences or evidence when they come with this allegation. Take for example, look at CDC. For you to say CDC has strangulated Madam Jemima Wolokollie, I think that is a sad mistake. Do you know that the CDC is one of those political institutions that have the highest number of females? Do you know that? I will give you few. I will give you few. For example, look at
the party is not hijacked. Your primary processes have been.
We are coming there. We are coming there. We are coming there. So we have countless of women that are there.
Question. Let me jump in there. Let me jump in there.
No, I'm coming. You guys will have to give me chance. I will demand for my chance.
But you have 2 minutes.
I understand that when a giant like me is on this platform, people will be coming from anywhere, but I'm trained for that. So I will be given the opportunity to learn on this issue before you come.
Yes, sir, Your Honor, but we have to give you 2 minutes. We have to give you 2 minutes. We got 1 hour to grade you people and then go to our lines.
You're coming with different questions, but I understand. I'm trained for this. I talk you on the other side, you won't come, but no problem. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My question is that you talk about she's being disgranted. Madam Modu said things that are more damaging to your party and to the government of Liberia. And this woman, the thing that she said I listened to her life was she wants to go to a political process where the opportunity will be given her to be elected as a handpicked, not handpicked, in a primary, in an open setting, not assistant hijacked by the boys from the Lofa County and another group of people from the west called Akaros Gray, Jefferson Koji, Thomas Fala, Modba K, all of them are from the west, including Senator GB Joseph. How can you say this woman is this granted when the
let me tell you this, we must draw a dichotomy between an official of government and an official of the party. That is the first thing I want to tell you that you must understand. There is a distinction between an official of a party and a government official. That may be you people are not understanding it. So you must understand it. The allegation that was made by the honorable chairman, our global chair, he is the chairman of a party. Was he appointed like, Jemima Wolokollie by the president? Jemima Wolokollie is an official of the government. She was not speaking as a partisan at the time. She was speaking as a government official. So you must understand that.
No, that's not true. She spoke as an individual.
D-Flow, let me tell you something. So we can go to the next panelist.
Yeah, you see, D-Flow won't be going back and forth. You'll be eating my time. So you must understand that an official of the party is different from an elected or appointed official. So you're saying that the president did not do this on allegation. Okay, let's agree that, this tip, we the men said that, X, Y, Z, and Z. So must the president fire him and the president put him there? No, that's a party issue. The man is out of the party. But we're looking at somebody who has been appointed. Now, when she comes to the issue of saying that the 4 names that she called have hijacked the party, I understand where she's coming from. I understand her level of frustration. But it is unfortunate that she should say that these 4 people have hijacked the party. Then I want to ask her a question. And those of you who want to believe in this kind of myth. So was she appointed by these people? Are the 4 people appointed her? That is the first thing. The formulation of this government, was it formulated by these 4 people?
All right.
These are some of the questions that those of you who are journalists should be asking. Madam Wolokollie, if you claim that, these are the people that are controlling. No, come in. Let me give me. You're interrupted, and my time wasn't really adequate. You're interrupted. But let me just say this. When somebody brings this kind of allegation that these 4 people holding the government, then the question you should ask, but madam, who are those that was appointed by these people? Do they have appointing power? You're supposed to be thinking, man. These people have appointing power. Look, Even here in the United States, Chairman Emeritus is sitting right here. There are people who think that Prince Sherry, who just a common member entitled to one vote, is maybe someone, higher up. No, it's just that everybody comes
let's go
All right,
to
Prince, thank you.
let's
Prince, thank you. I think you make your
let's
point
go
there.
to another person. Princess got
Mr.
a
Mr. Sherry, thank you. You make your point there. Let's come to Mr.
Let me just
Dean.
make this point. Yes, see, let me make this point before you come. I beg you, let me make this point.
Please.
Let me just make this point. The first thing is, I was not informed prior to coming, the topic. That is number one. Number two, I think other people are giving their time to talk without interruption. But for each time I understand that Prince Sharif is a heavyweight. So, D-Flow come on the other side, and I can take on everybody.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Go ahead.
Prince, thank you. Prince, thank you.
Go ahead. Keep
Prince,
running the
thank you.
clock. Keep
Prince,
running
thank
the
you.
clock.
You left, my man. I know,
that's
Prince, I know your tactic. You're buying time.
He
Yes,
want to
I
run
will
the
do it
clock.
for
He want to
Prince.
run the clock.
I'm not buying time. I'm not buying time.
Prince Sherry,
Now,
you can't come here
no,
and
let me
run the
land.
clock
Let
as
me
if to
land.
say we don't understand.
Let me
You're
tell
talking
you,
about
I have
our level of
a-
frustration. What is our level of frustration? What is our level of
Fine.
frustration?
That's good. This is the level of frustration that Madam Wolokollie is carrying around. CDC has a guideline relative to who is speak for a primary or to represent the party in any given point, in the electoral process. It's not because you are a female, so it means that you have that automatically exclusive right to be able to say, let me be. You subscribe to what? The primary. You subscribe to the primary. So why will you not subscribe to the primary and come up and start accusing people? It's like, for example, I have not subscribed to the process, but I come up and start accusing people that, the people then they clean
Mr.
that and
Sherry,
that they
you
made
made
the
that
one
point
them.
earlier. Thank
And
you.
I think,
You always,
and I think it's unfair.
Mr.
No,
Sherry,
I
you have the
disagree with you, but
opportunity to
let's
talk
go to the
again.
next person.
All right. Okay.
All right, thank you, Sherry. Let's come to Mr. Dan. Mr. Dan.
Yes.
I don't know how long you've been following the CDC as a political party. Let's look at the female leadership ascendancy in the CDC, women that have played a key role in the CDC. How they got there? Did they have to struggle? Did they have to go through a normal process? Let me share this with you for your understanding. We know of Muna Nyomblo. Muna Nyomblo, I don't remember when or how she struggled to get on the party ticket. My impeccable understanding is that she was handpicked and she is a leader in CDC. She does not have to struggle or she didn't struggle. We know of the late Lady Zico, all right, who was Senator Jarende Do Sharif. My understanding is that she wanted to be on the party. She battled. That's why one insider told me that she had to fight hard to get it, and she got it. But she was not on the president's side. But at a certain time, she got on the president's side, and the history is that. We also know about Wilhelmina Piso Serita. Her appointment was just like drinking Kool-Aid because of connection. We know about Paulita Weir. She getting the nomination was like Prince Johnson telling Anthony, say, my man, yeah, wants and go back Kool-Aid. So these are ladies that have some form of personal, relationship with the president and some higher up. So they didn't have to
No,
fight
a
for
point of
anything.
correction, a point of
Prince,
injection, please.
I'm in fly, my brother. Prince,
Yeah, but
I'm in
you're,
fly.
I can be in fly, a point of injection.
How's
Those
it
that you're
going, my
talking
man?
about, yeah, those that you're talking about, they went through primaries. Let's get the
You
record
have
straight
the
here.
opportunity to respond, bro.
Please, we'll give you
Okay.
one
They
minute to
went through
respond,
primaries.
please.
So let's get
Prince,
it clear.
you will have the opportunity to respond. I
All
just
right,
said
no
to
problem.
you, yeah, please don't interrupt like that. All right. So, yeah, it's Jemima Wolokollie who is asking for the same opportunity given to other ladies in the party to be on the ticket. And she got to know that Fala was handpicked, and whether or not there will be a primary, it will be Fala. And she's crying foul. Don't you think the woman has legitimate reason to raise this concern?
Is this a question for me, right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Let me. I had different thinking of this whole thing. First of all, I want to ask a question. How do we got to this place? How does this lady got to this place with the whole thing to go to the public?
Has she ever tried on her own to talk to some of the party hierarchy? Has she tried on her own to talk to the
According
president
to her interview on
about
OKFM,
this
she said,
issue?
yeah, she have tried so many times inside for them to discuss these things, and she's not been listening to, and so she decided to come public. That's what she said.
Okay. What I want to say is, I think she have a right to give her press freedom, whatever way she want to talk. But according to, in fact, the position that she had before as deputy minister and also a bona fide member of the party, she went too far. She went too far. Even if she had been hurt and something is really, really bothering her, it was not a way that she's supposed to express her feeling or her frustration to the public. There, for every institution for that matter, there is a rule and regulation that govern that institution. Even in your very house that you live in, there is a rule that you give to your children to follow. Okay? If somebody go against it, what you do, there is a way to follow the procedure to get the person who have committed or have violated this rule in your house. But our mother did not follow the proper channel. How do I know? When she was asked on the Spoon FM, when she was asked why you didn't inform the president, even when you were planning to go and run, you know the position that you own was a position given to you by the president. Even if you plan to go into election to run for elected position, that position will be relinquished. So who were you going to relinquish the position to? Or who were you going to send your letter to, your resignation? You have to resign. And she said she don't know, she doesn't know whether you can do that in Africa, that you have to go to the president to tell the president that I want to run for this position. I will give you back your position. That's one of the places I knew that she was very disrespectful. It's not the way to behave. Even if you are mad on something, you have to bear your patience and follow the proper procedure and get to the bottom of your case. Other people will come in. You cannot tell me that the president appoints you, then you don't know, even if you are going to resign, you don't know who are you going to give your resignation letter to. It's his president. She did not do that.
All right.
So she could have.
Mr. Dan,
my 2 minutes finished? My 2 minutes finished?
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Are you serious?
All right, go ahead.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead. We want to go to our line here
with the Moluba Molu issue that whether Moluba Molu has spent a lot of time in the party and there are not been a convention, well, I don't think that's something she had to bring it in the public to talk about, because the party matter. The party is different from the government of Liberia. President Weah is dealing with the entire country. Moluba Molu is only dealing with the party. So anything that had to deal with the party, she doesn't have a voice. She had to call meeting. We all had to go there to listen to what's supposed to be done. But she was not right to take any party issue to the public and take people to public ridicule. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I got to follow up to that quickly here before we go to our something. So
yeah, let's answer the
follow-up
question so that we can go
across. My follow-up question to you is, if you talk about how her behavior was wrong, she's supposed to reach out to the president. If every effort, according to her expose, she has tried on so many occasions to reach out to the people and explain to them that this is a political party, it's somebody's personal property, and we have to do things the right way. But so many times, every time she tried to voice out her opinions inside the party, they refuse to listen to her. So this time around, she said, you know what? I went to school in the West. This is not what they call democratic. I'm going to voice it out. Is that what you call, somebody that she did the wrong thing, Mr. Dan?
No. Prince, it's me. Please.
Oh, okay.
You want to take everything? Don't do that, Prince.
No. You said anybody can come in. So
okay. Thank you for that question. What I'm going to tell you in that part, everything that she explained on the radio, she didn't say that she reached out to the president. That was a big mistake she made, and I keep talking about. She reached out to other people, but she did not reach out to the president. So you don't tell me that you will be deputy director or deputy minister, that you cannot have access to the president that appoint you.
Oh yeah, that's for true.
I don't trust, I don't believe that.
Oh yes,
It's true.
it happens.
All right. So if I can come
Are you
in,
sure?
Yes, it can happen.
Yes,
I was opportune to sit with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I know how to do it. Except if the person is already in love with you in somehow. Ellen knew about me before I met her. So when I arrived in Liberia, everything was like walk into the presidency.
That is a different case
But it
altogether.
is critical to do it. It's a process.
Right. Let's go around the room so that we can bring in our callers. Then the panelists will interact with the caller. And let be a little brief. Prince, you are hungry to come. Please go in there.
Yes, sir. Let me say this. Your proximity to the president, it does not automatically guarantee you the right to get anything. This party is not ALP, where Bernard you will jump onto your horse, you take $1 and say, "Come, go be representative." This party is not Liberty Party, where the people will sit down for long, the lawyer around, take $1 and say, "Come, be our senator." No, this party is an institution that is governed by the law. And you understand? You like I said, you can be the one watching President Weah close. President Weah is a man who subscribes to the law, and he is party discipline. This is the reason why you see President Weah, he has drawn a line of demarcation between him and the party. Let's get this clear. So for somebody to say, and the woman, she went to the president, and the president, in fact, D-Flow, I am surprised because you are a journalist. You know what? I am a teacher. If you want to bring somebody on record, how do you do that? You do that by paper. Did she display to us any communication that she have ever sent to the party outlining her grievances or those issues that she felt that it was not correct? How do we channel our grievances? You think it's not coming on the air to say, "Oh,
let me answer your question with this statement." Let me answer your question with this.
I can't give no. I will give you the
hold on now. You can't take.
There was no formal communication shared.
You are against it, but we're not going to allow you to run the club. We got to run the club. Listen now. Listen, you asked me a question. Let me respond. Let me respond. I will respond. It's my time to respond.
Yeah.
Let me say this to you. This is not the first time we have heard about this kind of behavior. You heard it from Mobake Modu, who said in his clip, he had record talk.
This argument, I will suggest that you bring I and D-Flow in for us to argue. But let me say this, because I think D-Flow is here also as a journalist and part of the host, or one of the co-hosts. So let me say this. Now, how do you communicate your grievances in a political institution that has law, rules, and order? How do you do that?
Verbally to Prince.
Oh no! Let me tell you this. Where are the communications? So there's an institution we are running. We are not running how you call by a clock.
But they are chairman of your party said the same thing. Your party chairman Molu said the same thing. That John Manor we are handpicked people. John Manor we are sleeps with people and give them jobs.
Hello. Let me say this. What she was saying is an allegation that cannot be substantiated on this platform.
It can be because he is the chairman of your party.
Hello, D-Flow, hello. If I was told from the initial that you are going, that me and you are going to come here, let me and you. But saying you are a co-host, the way you're doing it now between me and you. But let me say this. Where are the records? Anytime people go for executive meeting, there are records that are taken. There are records in an executive meeting. What are the instances that she gave us? On the 25th, I went to the party and I met with this person. Look, we understand that when people are angry, they come up with allegations. It's very common. Anytime people are angry, people come with allegations. I met this person, I met that person. Sometimes it happens in some cases. So, Madam Wolokollie is somebody who has been in politics for a very long time. When you think you have an issue or a dissatisfaction, you do that by communication.
Prince.
Yes, sir.
Can I come in?
Let us make a conversation and let us be brief because there are people listening to us and they want to be able to.
Yeah, but D-Flow wants for the whole thing here. D-Flow wants for it.
They want to follow the conversation.
I'm a talking man. I don't get people free ride. You don't come here and lie on the show here. It will not happen.
I am giving you facts. I'm not lying. I'm giving you facts. What are the documents?
Can we please have the conversation?
let them explain. Whether you disagree with them
As
or
it
not,
relates
let
to.
them explain, and then you can come back. So, Mr.
Thank
Sherry,
you.
I know I said
Thank you,
something
Mr.
that
Sia.
you did not. Mr. Sherry, I said something earlier that you did not agree with,
Okay.
and we don't have to fight about it. When our panel was handpicked
Yeah.
by President Weah, go to your citizens and they will tell you that when our panel was handpicked, and that's how she is a representative today. We know
No.
in party politics, like you said, that Benny Yure handpicked his daughter, Liberty Party handpicked Darius Dillon. You want us to believe that that is true. But when others are saying that with CDC, you put on a defense. So what I'm gathering here is that all the parties, each will defend their decision that they make. What I know, the way primaries is supposed to be held in Liberia, those primaries are never like that. And that is the case with Thomas Fala today in this upcoming election. And that's why Jemima Wolokollie is criticizing. Let's bring
Okay.
Can
in
I
Can
come
I
in?
just add
let's
No.
bring
something
in
But
the
real quick?
we can go to
Excuse me,
primary.
Mr.
Yes.
Shea.
Sorry,
You.
this topic.
Yeah,
Please.
Mr. Sia.
Excuse me.
Can I add something
This,
before we conclude?
all right.
Well,
Yeah,
Let
go
all right.
ahead.
DJ Finance come in and we'll go to
DJ
Joe
Finance.
Jackson.
Okay. So what I get here is that Liberia has been lacking professionalism for many years within the government. And this lady is no different. She's an example, actually, of direct example of unprofessionalism within the workplace.
Okay.
Whether we like it or not, we need to stop this whole opposition, this thing, like what we are doing right now. What you guys are doing right now is the problem we have in our community.
No, DJ Finance, we have to discuss. There
Everybody,
gotta be opposition. Don't say
yeah, I'm
just
just
stop
coming,
the
I'm giving my
opposition thing.
story.
There will
No,
always
but
be
I'm coming
opposition. We
So
must encourage that.
this lady is portraying that she is not efficient with her job. Instead of her maybe going to Judge Weah and saying that I can do my job. First of all, I want to know the job. Does the job come with contract? Is there any criteria with this position, or this lady has a free will to just take the position and just leave anytime? Because these are things we need to pay attention to as well. This job is it just is no contract? She wasn't bound by anything at all with this position. I doubt that. So if this woman just jump up and she has a job to do, and she says, I don't want to do this. First of all, to be a primary, you got to be nominated. Who nominated her?
No, man,
Was she
that's not
nominated
true.
by her
You don't have
party?
to be nominated
DJ
to be.
Finance,
Yes,
you
you do
don't have to be nominated. You
for
can
the
You
apply.
have
primary.
You
to be
can express
nominated.
interest that I want to be. There should be an open process. There should be the guidelines, and everybody having interest can apply
And
and follow the process. So
her
it
party
does
needs
not
to
have to be
nominate her.
nomination at all.
Yes, her party needs to nominate her.
let me
Just
come in
jump
with my
up
question a
and
little
don't do
bit, please.
anything.
No, Mr. Dan, hold on. DJ Finance, hold on. Let me bring Joe Jackson in. Joe, in the case, because Mr. Dan was saying
That's the
earlier,
final. Go to
listen,
our list, right?
hold on. Mr. Dan was saying earlier she needed to communicate with the president about her interest and decision to contest. And I think he was trying to suggest that in order for her to contest, that means she have to resign her previous position. And that's the point
Right.
Mr. Dan was trying. Mr. Dan, if you are right, then I want to know, but it's not for you, unfortunately for Joe Jackson, so he can contribute here. Did Paulita Weah resign her position then when she
Yes.
contested?
Yes. She did.
All right. So, Chairman Jackson, you are saying she did resign at the time.
Yeah, she resigned.
So
Yeah,
she
she did.
lost the election.
I don't know if you will come
qualified?
back to me. I wanted to ask question.
Yeah, let me come in. Oh, God. There you go.
Let Joe go.
Yeah,
I should
first of
go?
all, I have some disagreement with you guys. I'm not going to tell you how to run a show, but I think you guys are mixing the whole topic up. Yeah, and it kind of boring to me right now, sitting here and not having the actual time to interact the way I want to interact. Let me just say some things here. And this is the reason why I decided to leave party politics. Because party politics sometimes can make you to be so blind to the reality of things. Okay? CDC was one of the political parties that I spent most of my time and I've seen a lot of things. I will be very frank here to tell you that look, the primary process in Liberia what's it called? All the other political parties are not exempted from there. It's never free and fair. You know, they go ahead and select somebody who will represent the party, and they just come up with this fake thing, you know, to say that, oh, they're going to have a primary. Because why are you going to waste all that resources when you know that Thomas Farah is the one that's going to go against Darrell DeLong?
But how are you supposed to elect a primary?
No. It not have to be like that.
Hold on. Let me finish my point. You were speaking. I will not come in here. That's why I don't like. I will be very quiet. Don't interrupt me, please. Let me be respectful on the show here. You have your own views. I might not be correct, but that's my own view. This happened with the late Tana Poli. My niece, Sia Tana Poli, wanted to replace her father. When the president himself said that Sia Tana Poli should be the one to represent the party at a time. Okay, you have people like Akaras Gray and other officials from the party came out and said because she was not a member of the party, they refused this girl for contesting on the party. And they make it to look like, oh, they were going for a primary. They already had somebody. At the end of the day, what happened? CDC ended up losing that seat. You know what I mean? And what happened? A unity party, Partisan won that seat, and Sia Tana Poli came in second by just 700 votes. So imagine if CDC was going to give her that support. CDC was going to hold on to that seat. So my thing, what I'm saying is that, look, this is not only CDC. It happened to all the political parties in Liberia. We can sit there and debate it. You don't like the CDC.
Joe, I don't mean to interrupt you. Let me add this there, Joe. I don't mean to interrupt you. Let me add this there so you can flow on it. The same can be said about John J. Weah. When President Weah raised his hand, but Edward Flomo ended up winning that seat in the district. And he having to be a citizen because he was
So it's the same thing that goes on the other political parties. So we shouldn't sit there and look at the reality, look at the facts, and want to blind our eyes to the reality. Thomas Farah, we all know, is the one that's going to go on the CDC ticket. Because of that, we saw Akaras Gray resigning his position because he wanted to be the one. So why should we sit there
in the primary? We saw that the decision was made behind the curtains.
Thank you.
In his anger, he had to resign as the chairman for vice chairman for Poroko Invest from the party. Because similar thing Wolokollie is doing, she got fired and she got terminated from her job. Look, folks, let's do this.
Yeah, let me land this quick. For the issue of Jemima Wolokollie, like I said earlier, look, we can't debate the issue here. You're just going to waste your time on it. You understand me? The president has the right to fire all his cabinet ministers tomorrow morning or right now as we speak. Now, yes, you as a government official and especially appointed by the president, if she had an intention to wanting to contest the primary of the CDC, I think she should have done the professional thing by sending a communication to the president. Let the president be informed because she came out and said that, oh, the president is a feminine in chief. But if you don't inform the president that you want to contest, trust me, he's not going to support you. That's why he's a feminine in chief. So that was where she went wrong. My only thing here is that why is it that the party have to, right after the president dismissed this woman and come and expel her or giving her the due process? Was she giving any warning letter? Was she called in for investigation? No. Yes. I think Jemima Wolokollie got a case against the party. She can go to court tomorrow, and I will promise you that 100% she'll win that case against the party.
All right. Thank you. Folks, I'm sorry that the conversation got a little rocky, but sometimes the drama is necessary.
Yeah, I don't want my question. I don't want to forget about my question here, please, Mr. Osei.
Yeah, let me make the announcement. Folks who are following us on Facebook, look on the screen there. There's a number that you can call right now, and then you will be allowed to participate. That number is right on the screen. As you see on the screen, it's 605-313-6004. Enter that code and you will participate. Yeah, Mr. Dan, quickly, we won't bring the audience in.
Okay. My question is just short. We have a parable that you cannot hide your nakedness from the bathing bucket.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say here is, Jemima Wolokollie will not be going to run on the party ticket, and she said that she cannot consult the party chairman. Who else will carry her? It's the party chairman. Your letter of interest is supposed to go to the party chairman to approve of your letter. You can't just go on your own. Or else you either run as an independent candidate. But once you want to go through the party, you have to send your letter to the chairman of the party. That's what I know.
Mr. Dan,
But
usually
she
when
refused to
election
do
is
that.
coming, Major Koji now is the chair for the primary, right? So everybody, they're supposed to set up a structure, a team, and everybody who have interest send their letters, and then so she does not have to personally talk to the chairman and Mr. Chairman or Mr. President, I want to run. The party have to set up the framework that there's a primary coming, or all those that have interest, this person is the chair, this is the deadline to submit letter, here are the qualifications. She does not personally have to talk to somebody. She can do that to solicit support, but as a process, and this applies to any party, she does not have to personally talk to anybody regarding the process. She can talk to individuals to solicit their support and blessing, but to say that she needed to talk to the president or she needed to talk to the chairman before she could do so.
People, you're doing this thing to get support. You are looking for support. You cannot do it like you're doing something like secret. You need people need to know why your intention is. Your intention is
that's different from submission, or that's different from submission your letter. That's different from submitting your letter to a process. So you don't need any.
All right, folks, let's leave it right there. Let's bring in our callers. Sorry, I had to mute all of us. Please, let's bring in our callers. Let me see this caller here and see whether that caller is ready. Sorry, folks. Let's bring in the caller so you can interact with them. Let me see the person who been here. This person 47 minutes. All right. Caller with phone number ending in 7149. Quickly to the issue.
Yeah, my name is Darren Wahu. I'm calling from Massachusetts.
All right, quickly.
Thank you for having me on the program. Yeah, you see, you guys did not do CDC a disservice. CDC is a big political party that has a lot of educated and smart people. So for you guys to bring in DJ, whatever, and Prince Sharif to argue and support war, Jemima Wolokollie was dismissed and subsequently expelled from the party. It's a disservice to CDC.
My brother, hold on for a minute. I know you are entitled to your opinion, but we Liberians need to be respectful to each other. I mean, what you are doing right there is counting on these two fine Liberians down. Whether you disagree with their politics is your right and it's fine. But to talk them down in that manner, we don't encourage that here on our platform. You have the right to disagree, but to say that you people can't find anybody that those 2%, it's not fine, my brother. But go ahead. If you do that again, I'll cut you off.
No. If you want to cut me, it's fine because that's what you guys do. You don't like to go with opposite views, so you can cut me off. But what I have to say tonight is you did a disservice to citizens. And you also did a disservice to yourself. If you ran out of good people to come here on the show, people who have the sophistication and the credential to discuss a national issue, if you don't have them, I think it's better you don't have the show than to bring people to make more. You keep putting them more on track. Oh, you are off topic. You even telling that you have to in order to run for primary, you got to be elected. This person was elected by we are. This is not her area. So you embarrass the lady in the first place. Yeah, you embarrass her. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your contribution. But those editions that you know who are qualified, send them our way. You can do us that favor too, and we will talk to them.
That's something. Let me say.
Hold on, DJ Finance. After the callers, you guys will interact. Hold on, let's bring in another caller, please. Who is the next caller here? The next caller in line is Mr. Josh Preston Lobo. Mr. Lobo, you have a minute.
How you doing? I just want to say thanks to the platform. I just want to say the focus on Liberia. Many Liberians tune into this platform because of its record and what it has been doing. Very informative and bringing people to discuss the issue. It's very educative. Please, I know sometimes the show do get heated. Myself, I've been on there. I just want the host to take more control. Make sure that people can be able to answer the question, because what we're seeing here, the panelists are not answering any of the questions. People are just running off the rail. And please, we just want you guys to take control. I want to thank DJ Finance for her high level of confidence. I mean, she's really displaying a lot here tonight. And I hope other talk show hosts can give her the opportunity to come out to the Liberian public so we get to know her more often. But please, Prince Sheriff, I just want you to be able to at least exhibit some level of tolerance. You seem to be really running over the show and not even sticking to the question running off. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. We'll keep following. Focus on Liberia as a standard, and I hope we all, every time we come on here, let us all continue to maintain that standard that have been set by every single one of the previous guests that have appeared on this platform. Thank you very much. We'll continue to follow the show. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. George Lobodas. Panelists, please take note. Let me bring in this caller. Caller is joining us from Australia. Please, the caller joining us from Australia, please, quickly to the issue.
Hello.
Hey, Rachel.
Thank you for bringing me on the platform, and hello to everybody on the platform. My name is Rachel Chapping. Rachel BCC Chapping, and I call from Australia, Melbourne.
All right.
I have a couple of reservations. I don't know whether I have the time to speak on it.
Yes, please.
I'll try to be quick. So, yeah, the first thing I want to look at is in the context of feminism. Basically, feminism talks about giving women the equal rights to advance themselves economically, socially, and otherwise. But then I have problems with a couple of comments coming from you and other individuals on the platform saying that the ladies that CDC put forward in the past, like Mon and the late Geraldine Doe and others, on the basis that they have relationship with the hierarchy of CDC, and not on the basis of merit, on their negotiation skills. Their ability to navigate their way through the political system and get people on their side to vote them. And winning as a nominated candidate for CDC. And I have serious problem with that. It's honorating the potential of women. I have serious problem with that, especially when you come with all substantial evidence it's based on they say and yes say. And I do have problem with that. The other thing I want to comment on the contrast of feminism, although I support feminism, but some aspects, some characteristics that feminist activists or leaders exhibit that I do find on. For example, like Nancy Pelosi, I follow her closely and I really admire her until when she tore the paper for Donald Trump, which I felt feminism shouldn't be seen, shouldn't be overwhelmed by our emotions as female, our objectivity, to control our emotion, put it in place and negotiate and navigate every system and bring us to the top. That's how I see feminism. That is to say that when Madame Wolokollie has problems, she been in the light of entrepreneurship in Liberia. She had her own businesses before. And I believe in those businesses, she employed negotiation skills over the years. Why don't she bring that corporate negotiation skills to the political scene and navigate her way through? Instead of being so unethical, I consider that being unethical. If you come to the public and denigrate your colleagues, I mean, during her interview, she even sub-named one of the officials of CDC. I mean, show gross disrespect for your colleague. Show poor interpersonal communication skills on your part. It show gross disrespect. You know, when feminist activists, they say it's a feminist, when they come with their emotions and honorate other people and use unethical approaches, then I got serious problem with the concept.
All right, Rachel.
Then I got serious problem with it. And I think 20 seconds with this. I think her whole international communication, you can see it with the problem with
all right, Rachel, thank you for your
the
contribution.
commerce minister. She had problem with him. Then she had problem with the party again, and then of the recent one. So I think that's a problem with it.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Rachel there joining us from all the way Australia. Thank you. All right, let's bring this one and then we'll come back to our panelists here.
I'm still here.
All right. Caller with phone number ending in 8972. Your turn to speak. You have a minute.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cie. Am I on?
You are on, and don't forget to criticize me too.
Okay, no, thank you so much. You see, first of all, I'm so disappointed in people that are speaking against Madam Wolokollie.
Okay.
Can you compare what Madam Wolokollie did to what Honorable Moluba Molu did? No, there's no comparison. This man is on tape. All right? He disobeyed, insulted, denigrated the president of a country, which is Liberia, President George Weah. That BBC all over the world, they played that identical tape, saying that before George Weah gave any female job, he had to sleep with them. What happened to Morva Molu? Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm so disappointed in some women that are going against Madam Wolokollie. Look, we all live in the United States here. We speak our mind. This lady said, look, I've been to people from the hurricane in the party. Nobody want to listen to me. She spoke her mind. I think that it is a good thing that women should applaud her for what she did. But look, let me tell you something, Mr. C, before I leave your line.
Okay.
Liberians are sitting quietly above the international community, are sitting on top of the fence and looking at a growing dictator that is creeping into our country, that you cannot speak your mind. This woman spoke her mind. And Mr. C, keep me on tape. I've been calling you from Massachusetts. Keep me on tape. She needs to be very careful for her life. Take it today to the bank, as Honorable Gray can say. This is a party that you cannot speak your mind. Everybody that are talking for George Weah or for the party today, they are casing. I don't want to use the other word, because if you don't do it, you will not get what you want. The CDC US taking a test. CDC US taking a test. All right. So whatsoever, why should this woman want to be senator? She got to go to George Weah to say, "Oh, President Weah, I want to be senator." It's not fair, Mr. Cie. I'm so surprised. And even DJ Finance sitting in studio talking about the woman. The woman was wrong. The woman was this. They wrong the woman. They wrong her. They just show that CDC, if you do not bow down to their God, you will not be nobody. And that is the same thing that they're doing. All right. It is so, look, Mr. Cie, yeah. I don't even want to. I don't want to go far. It's so disgraceful.
Please conclude. Your point is made. Please conclude. Thank you. I think he left. That's good. All right. Panelists, let me come back to you. The main thing I gather from their caller is that Mamba Molu has said far worse thing than what Jemima said. Mamba Molu is still the chairman of the party. Mamba Molu said President Weah can go out in the name of the country, get funds. Whether or not what he said was true, this man accused the president of stealing. This man also said that the president have to sleep with a woman before he can give the woman job. These are grave accusations against the president. And the man is still the chairman of the party. And they are going after Jemima Wolokollie in this manner. She lost her job. She been expelled from the party. But the very Mamba Molu criticized President Weah and even referred to the leaders in the party as stupid. It's on tape, including the president. I didn't hear Prince Sharif foaming. I didn't hear DJ Finance foaming. I didn't hear Ambassador Roosevelt Dane foaming. Let's go around the room. Prince. You unmute, Prince. Prince, you unmute. Guys, remove yourself on mute. Prince, remove yourself on mute, brother.
All right.
All right, go ahead.
Hello?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fine. Mm-hmm. Let me say this. Mm-hmm. Let me respond to the first caller. Mm-hmm. I think the first caller was being very condescending when it comes to our mothers and our sisters. And these are the people that make today the women don't want to come forth. And we must discourage that particular attitude. And I want to commend you for checkmating him, even though he was being very, very rude. And let me say this, we will not give credence to angry men who cannot defend themselves, who cannot come up to discuss the issue, to come here and be condescending to our mothers. We will not take that nonsense. We will not take that. We will give our sisters, our mothers the right to be able to have their opinion, to disagree and agree. So I want to say to you, Mr. Caller, the first caller, behave yourself and respect womenhood. Don't come and attack our women. Don't come and attack our mothers. I can take it. For me, I can take it, but not our sisters. Don't try that. You try that intellectually, we move on you with our nuclear weapon intellectually. Having said that, let's go to the second caller, the third caller, to our sister Rachel. She made a very, very salient point. And I want to commend our sister Rachel for saying this. Being a female does not give you a license to disrespect the organic law of an organization. Remember now, we are talking about party and we are talking about government. The laws and the regulations that are used to govern a party, now what the people can use to govern what government. Before you are appointed as a government official, there are rules and regulations. The people will tell you, this don't do it, this don't do it. You and I in America, we know of what we call a confidentiality agreement. You know that when you are employed in whatsoever place, they tell you, this you don't do it, 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 this you don't do it. By so doing, you will bring the organization or this institution to public ridicule and we can take action against you. So for somebody to want to compare a party politics with national politics, go sleep. Go and sleep. We are running government. Now, somebody said, our last brother said that President Weah is a dictator. And I like the way you brought it in, my brother. See, if President Weah is a dictator and Moruba Moru came up with the allegation, let's just say he came up with the allegation, you think President Weah was not going to take action? Is that what you call a dictator? Look, you people should be serious when you're using war in a place here. You tell President Weah say he's a dictator, but somebody will insult him on a daily basis and will be passing around. Yekekoluba will levy an allegation on him and go to court. And the same court exonerate him. They are calling him a dictator. I understand my brother Avin. Avin is one of those who sponsored the June 7. Unfortunately, that money landed in Costa pocket and up to now they get no result. So I know why he is fuming, why he is angry. And we know how to deal with angry people when it comes to that. He made another allegation of, Chairman Moluba Molu, then very condescending, and blah, blah, blah. Look, let me tell you this. We don't listen to gossip. Their government will not do it on gossip. Yeah, President, we are what he told you. That for him, he was elected by the Liberian people. You're not going on gossip. Even you yourself, Mr. C, at one point in time, you said that this president was incompetent, he was blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Did he listen? Did I move it? No. This president was elected by the Liberian people. He was not elected by angry people who lost the election because they could not adequately put forth their points. And at the end of the day, now they come and they want to say, oh, the men are popular and the men will do this and will do that. No, we don't listen to this.
Thank you.
We are running government.
Sister, DJ Finance, your response to the caller.
All right. So I want to clear something up. All right. I know that, first of all, let me start with integrity. Okay. This is something I believe President Weah is trying to install in Liberia. Pretty much. He's trying to implement this within the government. Integrity. Now, when you look at integrity over here, let my Liberian people know, it says here integrity is the quality of being honest. Of being honest and having strong moral principles. This lady lacks both of those. She was not honest with her allegations. As my brother said, she had no physical proof. In Liberia, anyone can just come up and say anything, and we go by what they are saying, instead of us going by what the government is writing. Because me, I go by what I read, what I see physically, what I hear, but mostly I don't go by people just telling me what's happening and I'm jumping into conclusions. But this is something we do in Liberia a lot. We do within our politics almost 90% of the time. I see this. This lady lacks integrity. she has no moral standard. Because if she has moral standard, she will not come out in public and call out her own colleagues to embarrass them and just pick false allegations without showing us the proof, because they are all allegations. So this really lacks
DJ Finance, you said that earlier, but the question we want you to respond to the callers. One of the callers, Prince spoke to that, was counting down, putting you and Prince down. I checked, meted him. I wanted you to respond to that. The lady from Australia said that, I think you remember what she said, right?
All right.
And then the last caller said, Mumba Molu said far worse thing than what Jemima Wolokollie said. And, she's been penalized by the party and the president. That's why I want you to speak to quickly.
Yeah, first of all, the guy contradicted himself. He contradicted himself. This president is not a dictator. We know who is a dictator. We know the attitude, the characteristics of a dictator. We know that President Weah is not a dictator. Number one, if you can say that Moluba Molu said, oh, President Weah slept with these women, President Weah did this, those are all hearsay. The president is looking for someone who can work. Is Moluba Molu working? Is the question here. Why would President Weah fire Moluba Molu just because the man is speaking out of anger? President Weah is more mature than that, and that's what he's trying to show the Liberian people. Number one, maturism. You guys need to be more mature. You need to take criticism and stand it. So therefore, if Moluba Molu speaks against his president, the president did not fire him because the president believes in what Moluba Molu has to offer for the country. Because this man wants to see the betterment of Liberia. Now, this woman, on the other hand, she never went through any of the rightful process. Why are we ignoring that? Number one, whether we like it or not, that's why we have problem in our Liberian government, because we're not going according to the rightful process. That's why a senator can be living in a different district and he's still a senator for one district. Because we're just mismatching. Okay? If you want to run the primary election, yes, you can come from a different party. They can elect you. The people can elect you from a different party to run for primary for another party. I know this. But they can also, when you're running for primary, you're not running by yourself. You don't just jump up and say, oh, I want to be in the primary. No, you don't just jump up and do that. There are processes you have to go through. And when you go through that process, you have people that you are competing with. It's not just her. So when we say, oh, you're trying to hijack, the certain people trying to hijack it, which means she's not strong enough. She needs to come up and she needs to be firm in what she wants, and she needs to go about it the rightful way, which means go according to your constitution. Do what is right of you. Don't just jump up. Just do whatever you want.
Thank you. D-Flow, your turn to go at
I have a question for my brother Prince. Prince, where are you?
No, don't do that. Mr. Dan,
Mr. C, why are you always leaving me last tonight?
Go to the two.
Why are you always leaving me last?
I am here.
Prince, are you trying to eat?
Mr. C, why are you always leaving me last?
It's time for Ambassador Dan and Joe Jackson.
Engage
them.
Okay, let me. I wanted to get to Prince because he said something very interesting, but I will skip it and go to Ambassador Dan asking this question. Do you concur with Prince? He mentioned about when you are hired by the government, Ambassador Dan, Roosevelt Dan, this is for you. Do you agree with Prince when he said that, or disagree with him that when you are hired by a person or the president, you are given a cheat sheet, rules of what you can and what you are not supposed to say in the public space? Do you agree with him on that point? If so, was the same sheet given to Zolizo after he was appointed on the 8th of December and he made a podcast 2 days later about how he would kill people in Liberia?
No, a point of correction. A point of
correction.
No. He's misquoting me. Sir, he's misquoting me. I want to do that correction. I'm talking about the code of conduct. That's what I mean. The code of conduct that govern public official. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Ambassador Dan.
Okay, I actually wanted to respond to one of the caller over there, but
go ahead and respond to the caller.
Because I don't want to forget about my stuff that I already get on my mind.
Go.
The caller that said that one of the callers said that Moluba Molu said worst thing then Jemima Wolokollie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to make that point very clear. I think this guy is just trying to cause some problem over here.
Ambassador Dan, you think the caller is wrong by saying that?
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm coming to.
Far worse thing than Jemima Wolokollie. You disagree with that caller?
Actually, I don't believe so. That's what I'm coming to the point now. I don't believe so.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I want you to understand from me tonight is Moluba Molu is working for the party. Okay, he's not working for the Liberian government. He's working for our party. He's fully responsible for all, and we are fully responsible for him. Okay, and he the one that hired the president. Okay, he sent the president to go and work for the Liberian people. The president did not appoint him. You're supposed to understand that part.
Are you suggesting that the citizens of Liberia did not elect the president under the party?
Yeah, it was
the party sent the president to go and vote. In fact, we see him. The party sent the president to go and contest.
But
and the Liberian people voted him. Say that again? Yeah, but listen, I don't want to get confused like this.
All right, go
ahead.
ahead.
Wait for it. Let me just end my talk.
Sorry, go ahead.
So the party, the Moluba Molu is the one that sent Jowia to go on a ticket to run as Senate bearer to run for the Liberian people. And the Liberian people voted for him. So he fully responsible for the party. Jemima was appointed by the president. She fully and solely responsible to report directly to the president whatever thing that goes on wrong. He's supposed to go and meet the president to discuss that. And what Moluba Molu said, Moluba Molu was talking in a house. He did not go to the public to go ask people, say, this is what I'm saying. Everybody can discuss things behind the scene. He was discussing, and while he was discussing, somebody went unknown to him and recorded him and put it on the public. Moluba Molu did not call to the public and go sit down to the radio station and say, this is what the president is doing. I'm here to explain what the president has done to us. So you cannot compare that kind of thing with what the woman said. The woman willingly and willfully walked by herself to the police, to the radio station, and sat there and began to explain her mind, which of course is very, very wrong because she did not follow the rule and regulation that govern the job that she's doing. Before there is a way that you go out, and the president make the paper before. That this country, not everybody that working under me will be able to speak on government issues. Anything that you want to talk, there is a way that we pass through. I think it happened from the point that people like Eugene Fargon, then they were saying all kinds of things on the Facebook, and the president make that a memo to them that before you go out there to say anything, you have to pass through the people who's supposed to speak on the government or issue or the party, something like that. And she went there willingly. She sat down. She started explaining. That's the reason I'm saying that what Moluba said was different than what she said, because she went there willingly to explain to the public. Moluba Molu did not call the public attention.
Let me do a follow-up.
Moluba Molu did not call the public attention that I'm today here to talk about my president. Somebody when he was talking again.
Follow-up on him.
Ambassador Dan,
yes.
The policy you're talking about, it applies to the government. Jemima Wolokollie criticism of the party, she did it as a partisan. So it does not apply to an official of government speaking on government policy. That is different. When the president we are issue another memo or policy statement, it was that if you are an official of government, you are not allowed to speak until you are designated. That is different from her as a partisan criticizing her party primary process. So that is different.
What party issue had to go to the radio station? The people that you're speaking to, they are not responsible.
Trying to go to the radio station and
party issues supposed to be handled at the party headquarters.
Okay, it's
almost like I'm part of you and myself, part of Susu.
Mr. Dam, is it a crime to go to the radio station and talk about why you don't like that is going on in your party?
Yeah, there's a rule and regulation that govern the party. You cannot just get up and go sit down on the public and start explaining what happened in your party. You can't do that.
Let me do a follow-up.
That conduct issue, misconduct issue. Those are misconduct issues.
let Mr. Jackson already said it, so let me quickly just repeat and see what is his opinion on this. Mr. Jackson, we are looking at due process of law. As a man who has a degree in criminal justice, I see the era of due process as a very important part of the process that we have called democracy, our democratic system. The National Elections Commission, same thing happened with Unity Party when Unity Party expelled Madam Ellen Johnson with affording her the due process. In that case, and that she had to be reappointed or re-recorded as a member of Unity Party. What do you think going to happen here? Because Madam Wolokollie have said that I'm going to go to court. I'm going to take this thing forward. You cannot expel me because you did not give me due process.
Yeah, okay, Deflo, before I answer your question, I just want to make something clear over here. There's a reason why we have a lot of decent Liberians, professionals out there who don't like to come on the public scene, you know, to have this kind of a discussion. Because many of the time, some of us Liberians think that when people come on these shows, we should say things that they want to hear, or, you know, if we don't say anything that is in line with what they want to hear, they try to throw all these insults and stuff like that. And I don't know when this has, started within our Liberian community. It's very wrong for a male to come on and try to insult a female. In case this female was your wife, your sister, or your daughter, he would have gone ballistic on the show here and attacking whoever was that person that was going to attack her as a female. We can have our disagreement on issues. Okay, she's not on the show to speak your mind. And Mr. Cole, to both of you as a host, I think Deflo, I did this to your show once. When people come on these things, on these shows, and they try to call, the moment they try to use the kind of wordings that against your guests, you need to shut them up. You don't give them a second chance. And I did it to you before, and I left the show. And I was just about to leave the show because of the insult that was leveled against the female on the show. That is very, very unprofessional. You understand me? It's not good. And you guys shouldn't encourage this thing for anybody. It's wrong, guys. You give the guy the second chance to continue with his statement. So now let's go to your question, Deflo. Look, like I said earlier, Jemima Wolokollie has all right as a founding member of the CDC, the way she will expect from the party to go to court. And I know for sure if she go to court, she'll win this case, because the expulsion of her from the party was totally wrong. There was no due process given to her, and the timing also was wrong. Why they waited until the president dismissed this woman before they come in to expel her from the party? So it means that there's something was already in the making, you know. And I will keep saying this, you know, we Liberians, men, and African as a whole, we are afraid of strong women. We are afraid of women who come out to speak up their mind. Yes, she has a grievance, she has a concern. She should have done it, you know, through the route channel by sending her communication to the grievance team and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But again, that's the individual differences we talk about. People have their own way of expressing their anger, because we all know what happened between Chimamanda and Jemima Wolokollie when it came to that loan scheme. You understand me? After she decided to have her own exonerate things with all consultation with the chairman, and that angered the chairman. And I think that's where that whole beef thing came about. And she there thinking that, oh, Thomas Fowler is not coming in, is being the one that had been selected by the party, you understand me, to run, you know, on the party ticket to go against Darius DeLong. So all of that hurt was in her. But if I were her, I would have done it differently. Like I said earlier, you work for the government. I think you are giving respect to the president. And people say, oh, you can't do that in a democratic society in America. No, that's not true. Anybody that wants to run here, they prefer the proper channel. You know what I mean? Just write in a simple line. Oh, Mr. President, I have an intention to contest for the primary coming out in the party. That's all you need to do. Okay? So, Deflo, she has all the legal right, and I'm 100% sure she will definitely win this case. You know, if she goes to court, if she decides to go to court, except where people will try to talk to her and to do it. Now, to the sister from Australia, look, people got to understand here. you might have your disagreement with Jemima Wolokollie for what she did. But I will tell you this, man. The structure. I think one of the places the CDC made a mistake was the primary that was held last year at the nuclear town there for, what's the name, when I had a senatorial election. Weird. I think that was a big mistake made over there. I think CDC would have gone for the primary where Chimamolu position, he would have been elected because Chimamolu is still favored by the party. Even if there was a primary to be held today, I ain't see nobody going against Chimamolu for that position. And, you know, so if all his tenure is over, because I don't know when was the tenure clause there said by Minister McGill when he left, how many more time left? But I think he was still going to win. And even if there's primary today, he's still going to win. You know, because you still have the position of vice chairman for operation. It's still hanging. Nobody's occupying that position. So it has been over 3 years now. What are we waiting for? Now you come to have another primary coming in the next few weeks. Why can't you just include the election of the chairmanship and the vice chairman for operation in there so the process can just be free and fair? So yes, what her name? Sis Jemima is a very strong woman, and CDC got to bring in some women in the party. I think the wording there by Jemima Wolokollie to say hijack, that's the wording that came to her mind at the time for her to use. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, if you look at all the other political parties in Liberia, the same thing, from the chairmanship all the way down to the deputy secretary, you see no female among them. So it's a male. So this is not an only CDC thing, but we need to bring in our women, and that's the thing that draw our women away from politics. We got some smart women in our community, in our society, but they don't want to participate because they're afraid that when they come in there to express themselves, people are going to push them away. Name me one political party that have a standard bearer, what do you call it? A chairperson, what do you call it, as a female, vice chairman, operation, and you name it. None.
Joe,
None.
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, one of the callers said that Mama Malu said far more worse than Jemima Wolokollie. And he's state chairman. Why Jemima Wolokollie is being persecuted politically? What's your take?
Okay. Yeah, okay. You see, yes, we all listened to the tape. Molu came out and said that, it was a liquor talk. But all of those things were allegations made against the president. Molu don't have no facts. Seriously. Molu has no facts about those things. And we can take that story and run with it any kind of way we want to run with it, because you know what? Molu said it against the president. And I know people have that disagreement with the president, so they will make that other issue. I agree. But the thing is that, look,
do you think that is
if
not
you
an
make
issue?
an allegation against somebody,
do you think
you
that
gotta
is
have
not
a
an
fight.
issue?
Does Molu have a fight?
Do you think that is not an issue?
No, I'm not saying that it's not an issue. Does Molu have a fight?
Do you think that is not an issue?
If you don't have a fight, I don't think so. He has no fights.
So you
if
say
you
it's
go to
no
court
issue.
ask him for a fight.
So you say it's
You
no
don't. You go
issue.
to court. You don't have a fight. You don't have fights. And so look. Okay. So you telling me that I should just come up and make accusation against you and don't have no fight? Then you say you expect people to believe it?
So
come on now. Let me
you
read
think
it.
that was liquor talk, right?
That's what he said, and I will take his word for it.
So can we also say Jemima Wolokollie criticism was liquor talk?
No, but Jemima Wolokollie never said her criticism was liquor talk, and I never said
an individual get to decide. An individual get to decide how their statement should. No, hold on, Joe. Hold on. An individual get to decide how their statement should be accepted by the public, right? So if I come here and say, Joe, you this, you that, say, oh, Joe, that liquor talk. Is that why we're trying to preach here? Joe?
Okay, now, you're asking me the question, and I'm going to answer the question. I never said Jemima's statement against Molu was a liquor talk, or what she said there was wrong. Okay, that's her opinion, and those are things that have been bothering her in the party. That's the reason why she came out to say that. I never said it's a liquor talk. She has a right to say things that are on her mind. But you asking me about Molu issue. Molu issue here is that, hey, Molu said these things against the president. We all listen to the tape. And he said in the tape, it was a liquor talk after the interview and stuff like that. That's fine. But what I'm saying is that, look, if Molu were to be taken to court, or if the legislature was going to, because I expected the host of the legislature to have called him in, saying he's a chairman of a political party, to ask him this type of question. But again, that's some of the things we talk about there. Our legislature is very weak You know what I mean? So the kind of thing they don't make a follow up on these things. Because I think Molu would have been called in there and see whether he has a fight or he was just saying it because he was angry with the president at the time for certain disagreement he had with the president. So that's what I'm saying. If you don't have a fight, you go to court. Trust me, that case is there. It's there.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Folks, let's read some comments here from our viewers on Facebook. Let's do some justice to them here. Bear with me. Let me read some. D. Von sedition are always confused when they are discussing the issue. Solomon replies, wow. Josh Lobo, sedition are just special set of people on earth. Zoga David, Edwin, you missed the mark. Let me tell you, this minus we are plus we are mean nothing to me. Let me tell you. Let's look at Philip. You put all your OACPP leaders on one ticket, they will still be defeated. Astron Jabba, Molu didn't handle things at the party headquarters. Thomas Wright, focus on Liberia next time. Please invite the woman on your show instead of having all these diaspora noise makers here. We need first-hand account of the issue. The people in Liberia, my brother, especially CDC, you run after these guys to come and defend your government, they will run away from you. I am a living witness. I always call them. They never want to come. One person is Bwaka Bole. He didn't show up on this show to explain about the government that he represents. And I'm saying that without any hesitation because I've had too much of these people not coming on the show to defend the government. They just want to eat the money and go free. But the last time we had one here, he was sweating. Let me continue. Let me see this one from Edwin Grace. CPP government will be the most disgraceful government ever in Liberia. We will not allow it. He's making the point there for against the CPP. This is not nice to discuss your president private issue. Remember, he is the president of Liberia. You guys should be discussing something to move our country forward. I disagree. The president is a private citizen. I will discuss anything about the president. I encourage anybody to do so. Robin Draper, DJ Finest, did you know you did well? Kudos. The hate is coming because you have the audacity to have an opinion that differ with others. Continue doing you. I don't know. Continue doing my math, guys. The writer wanted to say, remember, truth teller will always have hater like George Lobo. DJ Finance getting a part on about that. People say he texting the truth. I don't know that one is true. Ms. Wolokollie should sue CDC for inflicting trauma on her. CDC should not be a party to suppress women. He used a B word there. I don't know that B word, so I jump over it. Like somebody will jump over it. Fala Jacob, right? I am glad that I got to hear this panel because it has made me realize that I truly finish with Liberia honoring people like this. Liberia finish, yeah. Emmanuel Jesse, right? Liberia is strong. Liberia is a strong society. No freedom for women to freely express themselves. Those of you that are writing, please break the big words down, man. I'm a small boy. I'm going to read big words. Jacob Fala, fact number 1, ice cream. Fact number 2, sunshine. Fact number 3, Finabono. Fact number 4, Noka. Fact number 5, Inspector General Abed. Fact number 6, Ghana. Fact number 7, I don't know that other word there. I'll leave that one there for Prince Sherry to tell me what it means. Somebody is going after Prince Sherry, yeah? Prince position keep changing over and over. That GB getting rally. I don't know what that person is saying. Prince will make sense of that one. Manya, right? The most disgraceful government is CDC ever on earth. I don't know what you're talking about. Prince will say no to that one. To my panelists, let me come back to you. We got to wrap it up here. Let me see. We're gone 2 hours now, but this is a huge panel. So, folks, sorry for the noise in the background. There's firework. It's the 4th of July. So sorry for the firework. So let me start with our sister. You're listening to the comments. People are divided. People on both sides of the issue. What I want to get from all of us here is that as Liberians, politically, everybody defend your side. You find very few people want to be honest when their side have done wrong to say, no, this is wrong. And this is where I'm about to challenge you guys' truthfulness when it comes to defending our country. Starting with you, DJ Fanner, one thing that this government has done wrong that you know in the whole Jemima case, or one thing the party has done wrong in the whole Jemima case, and one thing that the opposition doing wrong in the whole Jemima case, and that will go across the board. Let's start with you.
Mr. Shea, I'm leaving now.
Okay.
I thought I'm going to be the first person so I can leave.
Yeah, Mr. Dan, then you go and then you can leave, please.
Well, this government, he said the bad thing the government have done, right?
Yeah, one thing wrong that you know the government have done in the Jemima case, if you can't find one in the Jemima case, throughout the administration, one thing that they have done wrong that you know, you better want to look in their eye and say, look, you know what? I think you dropped the ball on this one. And one thing that the opposition has done wrong that you know and you want to talk to them about. That one is tough.
Yeah, no, it's not tough, Diplo. One thing the government is doing wrong that I'm saying that or most of the ground router that suffer for the party is supposed to be given opportunity to serve their people. And that they are not getting that opportunity, and some of them are really, really getting disenchanted about that. So the government need to look into that for people who suffer, so some of them can have the opportunity to serve their people. On the other hand, the opposition, one of the things that they are done wrong in Liberia is they are not willing to dialogue with the government. Everything they are been doing to get their voices here out there is just protest, protest, protest. And all of those things will not help to move our country forward. Thank you so much for having me tonight. Thank you so much for having all of us that are on the platform. And those of you that took upon your time to come and listen to us tonight, we want to say thank you so much. I'm leaving. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on.
Mr. Dan, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you. Let's come to you, DJ Finance. One thing that you know that the government has done wrong, be it in Jemima's case, one thing that the party has done wrong that you know, whether in Jemima's case or not, and one thing that the opposition is doing wrong that you know of.
With this lady case, Jemima, I honestly don't think I cannot think of anything that the government has done wrong. I think this government is showing a high sign of integrity within the Liberian government, whether you are with President Weah or not. He is for the people, and he's about who's working for the people, not who is talking about the people. She was not working; she got fired. We can argue all day with all our political differences, but this lady got fired. President Weah was in the right. He had power to fire her if she's not doing her job. He did it. We need to move forward if we love our country, period. That's what I say about that. I don't think she has a case to sue. If she sues Liberia and she wins, that shows the country lacked competence. Liberia needs to get out of corruption. That's the only way that woman can win, if the system is still corrupt. Now, if you tell me what the country has done, what this present government has done wrong, yeah, number one, this government needs to focus on the young Liberians, and I don't think they are doing that. I think this government is focusing too much on only the leaders and the people that they know, the people that are talking in politics, their friends. They are not focusing on the Liberian children, the youth, the young children, which are 65+% of Liberia. This government is not focusing on, meaning the government not providing no youth programs that I'm seeing that will actually empower the youth. We need more youth program within this government to empower the youth in Liberia. Give them something to do. I don't think the government is focusing on that yet. They can do better. They have more work to do on that. I will encourage that. One thing this government hasn't done that I would really love the government to get on, healthcare. When I say healthcare, I don't mean, like get free healthcare for all. But the children of Liberia, the babies of Liberia, why are the babies not getting healthcare? Why would a baby get sick in Liberia and goes to the hospital, and just because the parent cannot afford medical financial help, money to pay their bill, this baby is likely to die. So I think the Liberian government needs to take that seriously and open a separate funding for the children of Liberia. You put money in that fund so that every baby in Liberia that goes to the hospital, that baby will get treated regardless of whether the parents got money or not. That's something the government of Liberia needs to implement as they are working on, rectifying some of
and the CPP, the opposition, one thing they're doing wrong.
And the opposition, what I think the CPP, they're just not capable of working together. They've shown that they cannot control themselves. For example, if you gotta have Mr. Yuri, who had his own party for a long time in Liberia, Mr. Yuri party been there for a while. If Mr. Yuri party has done nothing for the country, you got what you call it, ANC. If you got Boycott, if all those guys got to come together to fight for you Liberians, then you should know they have nothing to offer you guys, because they could have done it individually if they were capable. These are men that are educated, that are capable of bringing change to the country, that have had the opportunity to bring change to Liberia.
What opportunity they have had you talking about? Were they any of them?
Let me tell you the opportunity. The opportunity I'm talking about, I'll start with Mr. Yuri. Mr. Yuri is an educated man. Mr. Yuri is someone who was born fortunate. Yes, he was born a fortunate man. His dad was an American Liberian. His father owned a rubber plantation in Liberia. Mr. Yuri had scholarship to come to the United States. He went to the University of California. He graduated in agriculture. This dude knew what he was doing. If you graduate in agriculture for a country like your dad owns rubber plantation, for a country that you, Mr. Yuri, knows that over 67%, I don't know about it now, but over 67% of Liberia's revenue, the way Liberia gets money and everything, was through their agriculture. So Mr. Yuri,
I think he has a farm. Mr. Yuri has a farm, right?
Yes. From what I heard, he has a farm, but I don't know what the farm is doing for Liberia, obviously, because Mr. Yuri searched all the people there before they leave his farm.
Right,
so you don't want to help them. So therefore, Mr. Yuri can help Liberia. Alexandria Cummings cannot help Liberia. Alexandria Cummings had money. He spent all his money in South Africa. This man has invested more in South Africa than he's invested in Liberia.
Can I do a follow-up to her?
He cannot help Liberia. Alexandria Cummings is incapable of helping Liberia. He has not shown you guys any sign
my sister DJ Panes.
Number one, remember that Alexandria Cummings is a businessman. Remember, he's a businessman. He went to school for business. He didn't go to school for politics. So the way you criticize Judge Weah, why would you put Alexandria Cummings as even a candidate if you think Judge Weah is not qualified? Is Alexandria Cummings a politician? He is a businessman. He's not a politician. So we need to know in Liberia what we are doing. This man.
But DJ Fana, you are supporting President Weah, who was a footballer. So
President Weah was a footballer. He was a humanitarian. You see what I'm saying? Alexander Cummings was a businessman, and he was not a humanitarian. He had no intentions of helping you guys.
So let me do my follow-up. Let me do my follow-up. DJ Fana's great points. I give that credit to you. But let me ask you though, if you think you're correct here, what did John Weah do with $88 million before you elected him as president of Liberia?
Let me tell you now. What John Weah did, I don't know about you guys, because you know people like to speculate and you like to ignore the facts. We're talking about documentations. You have documents that shows George Weah's whole timeline. This is not a man that what he has done is secretive. You know, you can actually research George Weah and it tells you what he's done. Liberians will argue that. Will say, oh, who told you? Weah was broke.
No, I am not speaking in terms of soccer. I'm saying on a national scale. You talk about farming. Where is his farm? Where is John Weah's farm?
John Weah.
Yuri has a farm in Kells, but where's John Weah's farm?
What did he do? Farm. Yuri went to school for agriculture. Yuri had
okay, St. John Weah played football. What is his football team in Liberia, or football club, or football academy anywhere?
George Weah, from what I know, in Ghana, in Ghana, George Weah is helping Ghanaians.
No, you asked for Ure. We
Help,
gave you
like
Ure. Ure has a
he
farm
has
in
a
Carisburg.
You guys know
Is
that
there a
they got a
formal
team.
economy
George
that
Weah
President
is
Weah
not
has?
working with the sovereignty in Liberia. Is that what you guys are saying? That George Weah has no ounce of what you call it,
Does he have
inclusion
a
when it
formal
comes to
economy? It
sovereignty.
can
We're
be
not
anywhere.
talking
What you
about
guys are
house.
saying.
We're talking about in his area. You talk about Ure went to a agriculture school. He has a degree in agriculture. Ure has a fine in Carisburg. But you talk about
Weah
George
went to school.
Opon, and I'm asking you a simple question.
University.
The question I'm asking is that George Weah's area is soccer. What is the sport academy? Since of
George
course he
Weah
has a
area
degree
is
in
not soccer.
sports.
You guys saying his area is soccer. You see, you limit your president.
His
George
area is
Weah
not
area
soccer?
is not soccer. You can't tell the president. You can't tell me I'm a president and then you tell him my area is soccer. Who are you? Are you the president? I'm the president. So my area is where I'm at.
DJ
So
Fernandez,
if George
thank you.
Weah
Let's
is the
come to Joe
president of
Jackson.
Liberia, that is his area.
Come on now, be
Let's
fair
come to
to
Joe
yourself.
Jackson. Chairman Jackson, we're going around here. So one thing that this government or this party has done wrong in the case of Jemima Wolokollie, if any, all that they have done, talking about the party and the government, have done wrong since they took over, and the opposition, one thing they have done wrong.
Again, you keep asking the same question. I said, the president has right to fire any of his appointee. I ain't seen nothing wrong in him dismissing her. He has a right. That's his constitutional right, and I don't see why the oppositions are taking this and making the other issue running around if to say the president don't have the right to do so. He can do it. I mean, we see that happening here every day with Donald Trump.
All right, then what has the government done wrong since they took over?
I want to say that now out of the CDC, and my departure from the CDC has nothing to do with any personal thing against anybody. All the guys are my friends, including the president. I don't want to dive into anything directly about the government right now.
So the government has not done anything wrong since they took over.
If I come out to say anything, directly against the government now, people will look at it and be like, oh,
Joe, you need to answer the question. Just one thing that the government has done wrong. The government is not perfect, you know it. Just one thing.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I know. Well, for me, one thing that's I would say this one thing that the president has done that I don't like. I think it has been 3 years now. He need to do a reshuffle in his government. Reshuffle.
And
because
that's the only thing you know that he has done wrong.
Yeah, that's one thing that
somebody not reshuffling his government. If somebody decide I'm not reshuffling my government, in their opinion, the team is doing well. What is wrong about that? There's nothing wrong there. The president gets to decide.
Wrong that
you were just defending the president that the president has the right to fire.
Outcry. Yeah, Mr. C, let me answer the question now. Because of the public outcry over there, you know what I mean? I think it will be a good thing to do because we see this happening all around the world.
But you just see it's not wrong. I'm telling you about something wrong. For you not to reshuffle your government, there's no law that says after 2 years, reshuffle your government. If you don't do that, you are guilty. It is a leadership expedient that somebody can make that determination. So there's nothing wrong with him not doing it. So find a wrong for me, Joe Jackson.
Good that you said that is leadership expedient. So it is also leadership expedient for you to make a reshuffle in your government when the public are crying on your government.
So Jackson, you have nothing to show that the government has done wrong.
That's the one thing I can cut off my head right now.
Thank you.
So let me get to the next thing. Let me get to the next one.
The opposition.
You talk about the party position. I think the party was wrong for expelling Sis Jemima from the party. The timing was very wrong. I think she has all legal right. I know some people will not agree because if someone in the party,
Jackson, you make that. Let's go to the CPP or the opposition. What is one thing they have done wrong?
For the CPP, I see them taking this issue of the dismissal of Jemima Wolokollie, who just few days ago they were insulting her. Now they're taking the whole thing of Jemima Wolokollie and putting it on their head when they are doing the same thing too. They're not going for primary. Right now, there's a big problem within the CPP because Darius DeLong won that seat last year because ANC was supposed to put up a candidate against him, and they told ANC to back up from that primary. So ANC gave them the opportunity to carry Darius DeLong. Now they're having a selection of candidates now to run on the senatorial seat. Now we have them trying to what? Bring in candidate to talk about primary going against the ANC, and the ANC now want to put candidate against him in this primary. Now they're in the background, they're talking. They're not going to have a primary in Musarata County. They're not going to have a primary in Grand Bassa County for Yombli Kangla. So where's the fairness? Then you want to talk about the government or the CDC having Thomas Fana in there. So if you want to come in clean, try to make sure you are clean. You know, they're not clean. They're not doing the right thing.
Thank you.
You see, right now there's a big problem now. There's a big problem right now in Nima County because Nima County was going to ANC. So now Liberty Party want to take the Liberty Party.
Are you accusing them of dividing jobs or dividing counties for primaries?
Yeah, I mean that was the enrichment. That was their political enrichment, which I don't have anything to do with. That's how they deem it necessary. That's fine. But now some of the party are trying to what? Go against that enrichment, like the Liberty Party. The Liberty Party don't want ANC to feed in Kennedy in Nima County and Moserato. And that's where they're going to fall at. See, they need to hold together. And again, finally, let me just conclude on this quick. Look,
please.
If the opposition, which is the CPP, continue on this trend, 2023, they're going to cry or wolf again that President Weah stole the election from them. They have to put their act together now. If they can't put their act together, trust me, President Weah is going to beat them again.
Thank you.
Then they're going to cry and say, oh, the man cheated in the election. Put your hands together first before you concentrate on the CDC. Forget about the CDC, what they're doing in their home, and you concentrate on yourself and put your own team together.
Thank you, Joe. That is a free advice that you're giving to the CPP, and I agree with you 100%. Put your horse in order if you want to win this thing. The guy you want to beat, we know him. His name is Josh Oponwia. He played Tabella. I'm telling you, if you mess with this guy will dribble you. I know Prince Sherry is happy now. What? My man Anthony talking something good now.
Man,
Mr. Sherry, let me come to you.
That guy is not going to succeed 2023.
Mr. Sherry, let me come to you, my brother. Let me come to you, my brother. One thing, my man Prince, I don't think you answered it one year, man. They were too tough for you, but one thing that your government has done wrong that you know of, and just one thing that the opposition has done wrong that you want to share.
My brother C, let me first of all say that government is not President Weah. Government, the meaning of government, look at the definition of government, and mean President Weah. It is not exclusively executive, not exclusively the judiciary, exclusively the legislators. There are three branches of government. So let's get it clear. Now that we have established that, I want to move to one of the issues that I see government, you know, is like you said, I don't know if I should be very verbatim, you know, quote you directly or what. But let me say, one of the issues that I have a very serious dissatisfaction with as it relates to the government is the issue of lawmakers using few of our brothers in the name of protesters to go against one branch, which is the executive. I get serious problem with that. Where you find out the lawmakers, they will put themselves together and say, let's all gonna have protests. And they protest here, let's go against President Weah. I have a very serious problem with that. And I think that our constituencies must begin to checkmate these lawmakers. We cannot send you in the house to go and represent us. Then you there, you looking for protest. Where to go have protest? Your own work that get to go. You get protest and paying people for him to have protest. I think it is wrong. I think it is wrong. I think it is wrong. And there where I think I am having problem because remember now we say government, so we're talking about executive alone. So I get problem with these people. Now, one of the problem that the second problem that I'm also having, we're talking about government. So there are three branches. The problem that I'm having is see the judiciary branch of government. that is controlled by the Chief Justice. I think there is a need for especially cases that are before the docket when it comes to, violence against women and children. I think there is a need for them to speed up the process. There is a need for them to speed it up. Today, we have cases at the Supreme Court and other areas where our sisters and our mothers, they were abused. And some of these cases, they are still there. They are still on the docket. So I think the judiciary branch of government must be more expedient and proactive and very, very fast when it comes to adjudicating these cases. We cannot have rape cases that will be on the docket forever and they are not adjudicated. Remember, the president can move on to the plane and say, your prosecuting one. No, that will get 3 branches of government. That is another dissatisfaction that I'm having.
You just have 2 branches of government. Go to the third one.
No, that's that government we're talking about in a holistic manner.
Yeah, but now, you just there with 2. Yeah, go to the other one. You afraid of the other one?
I think one of the problems that I am having with this president, and I want to be very, very funny here. The problem that I'm having with this president, I think this president is too transparent. For which today, the plenty knows behind, he's too transparent. For the fact that this president will make government to be so open that
so
any
amount that with the president, my man, transparency is what we fought for. You don't have a problem with the president.
You are playing politics.
No, that is not a problem. Transparency is not a problem. We want our government to be very transparent, so you don't have a problem there. Go to another thing, Prince.
No. This is the problem that the opposition are having with this president. Because he's transparent, he's making sure that he's not giving people money for them to go to a good thing. He's not grabbing people here and there, making sure that our money is used, in the right manner and in the right form. So because of that, today we are seeing people that going all around the place. In fact, journalists now have turned to opposition. And I think, here's the problem that people are having with him. And another problem that I think I have with this particular government is the issue of, this government giving people exclusive right to express themselves in any shape, form, manner, and are not dragged before the court. Today, look at
some people got fired. Jemima Wolokollie got fired.
No. Let me tell you something. There's the mistake that you people continue to make. When you enter an entity, there is something that you sign with that entity. It may be implied or it may be on the book. They call the policy of that particular institution. Don't go against the policy and say the people fire somebody.
D-Flow's sister is called Justina Taylor. She expressed herself. Few days she disappeared. When we got to see her living ballet, she was handicapped. There was noise. So
look, let me tell you something. You don't know Justina. That whole thing was a plan by the CPP. It was a plan. You know what happened. As I speak to you now, Justina is in Guinea. D-Flow know where Justina is. D-Flow.
That's not true. You guys trying to kill my sister.
She's in Guinea. So we understand that trick, that chicanery. We understand that trick and artifice that is played by the opposition to make this government look funny. Who president we are Colombia? Who president we are able to Colombia? President we are getting to Colombia anybody? So that is one of the issues that these are some of the issues.
Your friend Pedro Costa said he was chased.
Look, let me tell you something. The man is a fugitive of the law. Look, see, let me tell you something. You must learn how to put war in context. Somebody run away from the law.
Prince, I gotta ask you a question. No, hold on. Let me ask you this question. This one is for Elizabeth. She's watching where in Paris. Prince, let me ask you a question. This is for Elizabeth. I want you to answer the question. Don't say they may be transparent is the problem. Transparency is not a problem. It's a good thing.
No.
Name me one thing. Name us one thing. Elizabeth said she wants to know. Name one thing that you think John Ria has done wrong. Transparency is not a.
We're talking about. Okay, no problem. I will come there. And let's go to the next thing. One of the things I'm having problem with is the misuse of county development fund by these lawmakers. Remember now, the government will give these lawmakers that county development fund.
I'm with you on that 100%. I say I'm with you on that 100%.
Thank you. It's controlled by these lawmakers and their people. At the end of the day, these lawmakers will be brave enough to collect the county development fund, sit down, and then misuse
Prince,
it.
you're trying to dominate yet? Has President we have done anything wrong politically that you know? I mean, we have to go, my man.
Let me say this, my brother C. This president remain very focused. This president
is that my
one of
question
the
you're answering, Prince?
We are coming to the point. This president has displayed a high level of political tolerance that have never been exhibited in the history of Liberia. I'll give you an example. In 1945, when President Tubman took over, you know what he did?
Don't go to history, my man. Has President we have done anything wrong that you know of? You know, you've been speaking for over 3 minutes now, my man.
Listen, my brother, we are coming to the point. We are coming there. I think
around the bush.
No. I think this president.
Got to go, man.
I know that. I know our chair is married to. I'm a puppy down there. I'm a puppy there. Hey, so don't forget it. But what I'm trying to say here is that I think this president is magnanimous enough to be able to allow you and myself.
I'm muting you. The president has done nothing wrong. That is what I'm getting from you. Thank you right there. Folks in cyberspace. Prince, I'm muting you. The president has done nothing wrong. That's why you said he has not made any mistakes so far. So let's leave it right there. Let me bring in this caller and then we'll call it a day, gentlemen.
No, see, you have not been fair to me. See, allow me to learn.
Caller with phone number ending in 1826. Quickly to the issue. Prince, sorry, my man. I gotta muscle you a little bit, bro. Caller,
yeah,
quickly to the issue.
hello. This.
Yeah, you are waiting so long. I'm sorry for keeping you that long. So you have 2 minutes to express yourself.
Okay, good. Well, I want to go on the topic of Ms. Jemima. Mm-hmm. The problem I'm saying is that you guys and now looking at that she work for the president at will and pleasure for the president. Mm-hmm. If she wants to contest, she should resign. And then she can go on the radio and talk. Okay. But you cannot work for the president and you don't go and talk to the president. When I hear you saying, Anthony, and she's not supposed to go to the president, I felt bad to say that as a host, you should know that she worked for the president. When you work for the president, you cannot just say anything on the radio. You don't criticize your boss openly. If you want to do that, you should resign. You criticize and any member of the executive branch criticize and any president in America, you get fired. They don't criticize. That's what you if you have a problem with your boss, go to your boss office and tell your boss. But you cannot go on the radio as a member of the executive branch, high member, and talk anything. You can't do that. You guys on the panel and DFLO, you know that. You guys know that. This is the problem we're having in Liberia. You know something, and if you don't know that, it's discouraging. You cannot, as a member of the executive branch, if you want to contest for the Senate seat, all you have to do, resign. Resign as member of the executive branch and say, you know what? She can say anything she want to say, but for you to not know that, I felt I'm like, I hope other country now listening to some of you guys what you're talking about, because it's shameful for you guys not to know that this woman she's working for the president. She work at will and pleasure for the president. As a host, Anthony, you should know that. You should know that. So for you guys to just sit there and allow and go on and on, it just don't make sense. Thousands of people listen to you guys. People, This other guy come on the show talking about and the president is this, the president is that. Come on, why can we don't know this common thing? Let somebody of Trump minister, deputy minister, cabinet minister, whatever in the Trump executive branch say anything against Trump, see if that person will have job the next day. Even the Obama regime, see if that person will have job. You don't do that. You dare to promote the agenda of the president. You dare to promote the agenda of the president. That's how government work. For you guys not to know that, you're Anthony hosting a show, don't know that. It breaks my heart because people listen to you guys. She worked for the government. The woman said she never spoke to the government. Yeah.
Hassan, I'm sorry if that's how you actually understand my point I was making. The point I was making was that to participate in a party primary, her criticism is that the party primary is not open, is not transparent. She said there's a decision that has been made behind the curtains that the party is going with Thomas Falah. That is her frustration. And somebody said that she needed to go to the president to communicate with the president. And what I said was that no, she did not need to tell the president personally that I want to participate in. It is different from you saying that she needed to resign in order to participate. The president said she needed to tell the president, oh, Mr. President, I want to contest. I am saying she did not need to communicate that in that manner. And if she didn't do that, she didn't do anything wrong. She could have written the president. She could have written the president that I have interest. Let me learn now. Let me learn. I listen to you carefully.
Go ahead.
She could have written the president and say, hey, I have intention to contest. This is my letter. I know I may not be able to win this argument with you. Maybe you didn't get me clear, but what I was saying was that she needed not to go and say with the president, oh, Mr. President, I want to contest. Let's discuss my options. She could have written to do so. And her criticism of the party primary process not being open, I'm saying that she needed not to basically go sit down with the president before she can even start the process of expressing interest to participate in it. She could express the interest and say it on the radio and get back to the president and do so. She could do it that way also, but I may be wrong. Thank you.
Okay, let me go ahead and say this. Mm-hmm. When you're working for the president, mm-hmm. you need to. There's a code of conduct that you need and to know. You need to carry yourself in a different. If you want to run and for the Senate seat, all she needed to do, Mr. President, I don't need this job again. Thank you. Then she can come and announce. She don't need to tell the president. But she have to say, Mr. President. Well, if she have an intention and she stay a deputy minister, she needs to tell the president because she's working for the president. I want you to underline that she worked for the president. She worked for the president. I agree
that the president has the right.
And she's the executive branch. Mm-hmm. She's an executive branch. She executive branch. When you work in the executive branch, you are working for the president. You cannot go on the radio and say just anything. You cannot have two jobs. Oh, okay, I'm taking pay as a minister, but I want to be senator. I want to be. No, you have to go to the president and say, Mr. President, I have interest. Or Mr. President, I want to resign. I have something I want to do. You can resign. Then you go down and say, hey, I want to be. But you cannot.
Right,
it's not. You can't do that.
Hassan, let Defro come in and then we'll let you go.
Again, this is why Liberia is not going anywhere. When you put one man in state power and everybody has to bow down to the person, you want to run for something that is democratically the process is your right to run for something. You have to seek an opinion from somebody in authority who is going to say yes or no to you. In the case of Paulita, that was handpicked, and we saw what happened to her in Masurado. This is the same format you're running on again. Like the opposition is doing the same thing in other counties. Look, this is not democratic. When somebody has to reach out to me to seek my opinion on whether he or she must run to a particular election, it is not democratic. It's fake. It's fake. And this is why I agree with Joseph Jackson. It's fake.
No, Diflo, you're wrong.
Hassan,
Yeah.
Hassan, you make your point,
Yes.
and I understand where you stand on the issue, but Diflo and myself saying that because the woman works for the executive branch of government, she got to go sit and ask for the president's blessing before she can express her intention to participate in the democratic process. And I'm meaning to say that I may be very wrong here, but I don't want to, entertain that
Yes,
understanding that she has to go seek.
Anthony,
Go ahead.
you're wrong. There are people, Anthony. There are people who have worked in the executive branch in America. We know that. We don't want to run and for Congress. We don't want to run and for Senate seat. They resign. They resign.
I agree
They
with the
never
resignation
announce.
aspect of it. I
They
agree with the
resign.
resignation aspect
Yes,
of it.
but that's where she went wrong. Where she went wrong is you cannot be occupying the deputy minister seat and making those things on radio and say this and say Thomas Falades, I want to run. He's a thief. He's a dad. I want to. You don't
But
do
she
that.
did not say those things.
You don't do that.
She did not say then. She was already. Let's pretty sure we just.
So are you saying that she does not have the right to criticize Thomas Fala because she's working in the executive branch of government? So she does not have the right to criticize
in that manner, she work in the executive branch. If she have a personal opinion, she have to resign. You working for the president. That is not your job. Her job is to build up small businesses. Her job is to build up small businesses. She needs to go on the radio to talk about her job.
All right, Hassan, let leave it there.
That.
I got your point. Your point is well taken. Thank you for waiting so long to participate. And I think you make a very salient point. But I am not all in on your point here. I agree that she needs to resign if she has interest. But I disagree that she does not have to say anything about her intention. Neither criticize or an opponent that she see or because she worked for the executive. And I want you to place a phone call to me. I really want to understand this thing better because I'm learning here and I appreciate your contribution.
I will please. I don't know if this is your direct phone. I need to place a phone call to you. We need to talk about it. I wish I could come on the show one day so we can talk about this because this is interesting.
I will highly
see
appreciate
people
that.
saying.
I will highly appreciate that, Hassan.
saying,
And I got your
but
phone
we
number
need
here.
to.
I got your phone number
Okay.
here. I will call you, okay? Because of time, let me bring in the other caller so
Nope.
we can call it a day. I have your number.
Okay,
I will call
no
you,
problem.
and I appreciate you expressing your willingness to talk about this. We do this
I got a
just
question
for
for
other
Prince
us to learn.
Sharif. I got a question for Prince Sharif here. Prince just wrote that Madam Wolokollie was given due process by the party and the records are available. What are those records that you know, Prince, that we don't know? What due process did she go through?
My man Prince not answering question. Yeah, he beating around the bush. Asking one thing President Weah has done wrong. The man will not answer. Let me bring him my last caller. No, let me bring him my last caller, gentlemen.
Hello,
you don't want to answer question here.
What? You not been fair to me, see? You see that?
Give the man a chance. Let's give him a chance.
Caller with Kamara, quickly to the issue. You have a minute.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, I'm trying to participate. I know the time is very short, but I'm interested in the issues of the former Minister of Comments and the issues of the resignation. Quickly, the issue is that I know it's very important. It's a debate, but the code of conduct, the president put on a memo. The president's office if you have intent, anyone with the intent to contest an election should resign. And that is part of the rule of the code of conduct. So if she had an intent to contest, the first thing is to write a letter of resignation without even telling the president to say, I am resigning to contest the seat. Because there are two things. declaring an intent does not also mean that you have to contest on the political party or go for primary. The fact that you have that intent, you can either go for primary or contest an independent candidate or on other political party. She has that right to associate and disassociate. So by developing that intent to contest, she should have resigned immediately and follow her political goal. So that has nothing to do with going to the president office, going to the political party, going everywhere. So resign for it. That's what the code of conduct says. Resign and be an independent person. So wherever you went now, that is your own responsibility. The next thing about her speech or maybe a remark she made in the public, that I think nobody should hold her responsible because she's entitled to her individual opinion under the right of freedom of speech. So you can't hold her responsible for that. But what I hold her responsible for is to be seated as a minister and at the same time declaring her intention to contest the primary without being involved in the primary. So, and another thing, declare your intention informally. You can be petitioned by people. The desire of the people to petition you could make you to declare your intent. So as far as it's not formal yet, nobody can pressure you to resign. People are petitioned in the district. They level you to accept that petition when you should have accepted that petition before you give your declaration of intent. Once it is not done through the formality, you can't suspend somebody because they want to read and declare the intent until it can be done through a formal process, through the primary or to the National Election Commission. And that is not done. Every other thing is informal.
Thank you. All right, folks, we're gone 2 hours, 51 minutes. That is
we got to wrap this thing up. DJ
too
Finest, you still have
much.
time for
And
us?
Prince, my brother, I hope you will understand. I'm not saying you're not discussing the issue. If we ask the question, we'll go straight to the time. We'll save a lot of time and talk more. But I asked you the question, my man. You're doing political dribbling. I'm not here for that. I'm in charge here. Let's go to the issue so we can move forward. So right now we'll take 1 minute closing statement each because of that time. I mean, Prince, you do this thing so you know what we're talking about here, my man. You can't play a political game with me. Unmute yourself, Prince.
All right.
All right. Prince,
I think.
I'm going to time you 1 minute for us to close.
All right. Well, let me thank you for giving me the opportunity. But I think that this president has again displayed a high level of magnanimity to every one of us, both oppositions and position. What we are seeing today has never happened in the history of Liberia. We are seeing our brothers at the level of the University of Liberia, tuition free is commendable. Today, as I speak to you, Lead, Water, and Sewer is carrying water now to houses. About 2,000 plus houses is about to receive pipe-borne water. We are also seeing the intervention by the international community, by this government. The Chinese government have just, given this government in the tune of some 3 million hardware, military hardware, and also to the 14 military hospital. I think these are all commendable. And let me thank Liberians who are also here. We disagree to agree. I think all of us, this is the right thing that we should do. We should not revert to Kample and Butuo and Ho Iron. Yesterday, when people disagree with the late President Samuel Kanyando, they jumped in the bush. Day before yesterday, when President Weah disagreed, he remained in Liberia and said that, look, we'll not go to the bushes. We'll continue to engage government. And this is what we are doing. And we should not go on the street of Buentire or go there to say we want overthrow government. I want to say to our brothers who are in the opposition, Liberia is for every one of us. You cannot claim that the Liberian people are suffering and then you continue to do things that will continue to, to tarnish the image of the government or to continue to make our democracy look fragile or even more fragile than you expect for job to be provided. It is not possible. Let's work around this government. Let's do everything possible so that we can move Liberia forward. The only way that you can have a good Liberia, Mr. Opposition or Madam Opposition, is when we all work together and set a very good basic for this democracy. Other than that, I am sorry, because we're talking about the first 24 years of this government. But if you will call yourself due diligence and behave in the peripheries of the law, maybe after the 24 years, the Liberian people will look at you But anything other than that, I can tell you that, President, we will go for left, and we are willing to do that, and we are ready. We use the democratic process. We will not do anything orthodox, but we use democracy.
I got a question for you. I have a question for you.
No. D-Flow, we ending and asking question. We got almost 3 hours. D-Flow, come on.
Yes, sir. D-Flow said, no, but I think we're getting the chance.
You gone over your 1 minute again. That's why you do. You gone over
no,
your
but
1 minute.
You know, I'm talking
beyond limit. He said opportunity. We work together. And this is
I'm listening to you.
Prince, thank you so very much. Let's come to our sister.
You did not get deep to the opportunity. You see, you are infringing on a man's right.
But
you see,
we are concluding. Then the member asks
no. This is the difference between you and us. I will protect his right, even though he's against me. But I think Deep must be given the opportunity to ask his question. And I will protect.
Concluding the show. While we are concluding the show, having gone 3 hours.
It's unfair to Deep-Flow. It's unfair. I have just lamented what is going. Give me the opportunity to ask the question.
Friends, I know the game you're playing there. Let's come to our sister here. DJ Finance, 1 minute to conclude. Prince, my man, get out of here.
Please stop it. You're not giving me no opportunity.
Prince, come on, get out of here, man. Let's go.
Well, this is good though, that we can all share our differences and laugh at the end.
Right.
But I just want to say that I support this government because of the agenda of this government.
Right.
And when I say the government, I mean the president's agenda. President Weah's agenda of the Pro-Poor agenda, which is development, keeping peace in Liberia, bringing civilization to Liberia, and making sure Liberians get jobs. That's what I see in this man's Pro-Poor agenda. The new Redemption Hospital. You see, I'm a woman. I know that in Liberia, you guys have a lot of problems when it comes to healthcare. Children get sick in Liberia and they die. The elderly get sick in Liberia and they die. We need hospitals in Liberia. We need hospitals in Liberia. We need to focus on healthcare in Liberia. Madam Salif time, we were not focusing on that. We need to focus on healthcare. I love that the president focused on building the military hospital, which means this president cares for the people that stand up for Liberia. He cares for the people that are fighting and standing up for the country. Every country I know in America, like most of us are today, their most powerful ever resource in this country is the military. The most money in America goes to the military. That's just life. That's common sense. So in Liberia, that's what we need to do. So to have a president who is focusing on the military, he's focusing on healthcare, he's focusing on development, building roads.
Who is our enemy? Who is our enemy? Who is our enemy that we need to spend more money on military instead of healthcare?
Can we end this show?
We need to spend money on all of it. You know, we can't spend money on one. We are talking about a country. We're not talking about just a city. Liberia is a country. Liberia is not a county. So the president cannot focus on one thing. The president has to focus on every sector of the country. And that's what this man is doing. And Liberians are not used to a president multitasking. I don't think you guys are used to that. So you see a president who wants to make sure you get health care, who wants to make sure you are educated, who wants to make sure you actually will get jobs, because roads. You know, Mr. Yuri said, well, road will eat. I tell Liberian people, you know why? Yes, that road you will eat. Road is what will bring you food. Road is what will bring you job. Road is what will bring you stability. So when you have a government that's building you roads, you want to applaud them, because that's the first step to bringing civilization to your country. Liberia needs civilization, so I'm supporting.
Thank you. That come to Chairman Jackson for his 1 minute concluding statement. But Chairman, it seems that those who support the government, their yardstick for success is the military hospital. Anytime you listen to someone who supports the government, they have to talk about it. Mr. Jackson, your 1 minute concluding statement. Please unmute yourself, Mr. Jackson. Please unmute yourself and conclude.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, my 1 minute closing statement is going to be very short. I just want to say thank you guys for hosting us on the show to discuss issues pertaining to our country. And I want to say thank you to DJ Finance. I always follow you on your show. I mean, keep up the good work you're doing. We want to encourage a lot of females to join you, to come up. Don't be deterred by attacks, because I see lot of this attack from the male. Sometimes when you come out and you're speaking, a lot of the guy goes after you. Don't listen to them. I mean, just do what you have the passion to do, and try to encourage other females that you know to come on, because we need more females. Don't be afraid, because Liberians and Africans as a whole, we are afraid of strong women to come out to speak out of mouth. So thank you, guys. God bless you all.
Thank you. D-Flow?
Yes.
I see that you really want to battle with Prince Sharif. Maybe we need to organize something so that you got too much you want to let out.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be happy. Prince, you want to take the challenge for tomorrow?
No, tomorrow I'll be having my show tomorrow. But anyway, it just depends.
What time you have your show?
Yeah, it's going to be
all right,
during
gentlemen.
the morning.
Let's discuss that offline. D-Flow, please conclude us.
Well, the main
Okay,
question
what do you use this opportunity to say thank you guys for coming on the Focus on Liberia, partnering with Liberia Destiny Leaders, partnering with Focus on Liberia. It has been a wonderful, pleasant good evening with you guys, representing your side of the political debate that is the CDC, and then to the chairman's emeritus, Chairman Joseph Tamajasi. I want to say thank you for being in the middle of this whole debate tonight. It was great to have all of you on tonight.
All right.
Hello, to conclusively conclude, I just want to thank all of you for giving us the opportunity, our Chairman Emeritus, our sister, DJ's finest. I want to just add up to our Honorable Chairman and say, my sister, this is the battle to redeem Liberia, and it's a good cause that you are into. Don't be deterred. Don't be perturbed, or don't be, intimidated by anybody. And to all of the people who have come here to listen to us, my people, want to say your thank you. All the things that we're doing, we are all Liberians. Let us disagree to agree. So thank you all again, even those of you who did not, agree with me from the initial, or at least were able to, exercise our rights. My people, I want to say your thank you. And let God bless you. Let's continue. You follow us under the Palava Hut. You follow Focus on Liberia, and you follow D-Flow as we continue to give the information, especially under the Palava Hut that is controlled by Prince Sherry and Delano Tamasa. Thank you.
All right. On that note, folks in cyberspace, we want to say thank you for following our broadcast. The ones were very long. I didn't intend it to be this long, but when you have too many panelists, that's what happened. I don't have much to say other than to say, hey, let us always come together to have the opportunity to disagree on the issue. We are leaving you with this song that says we are all Liberians. Thank you and bye-bye.
Bye.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Our
DJ House of Pain. Yes, I like this one. Human right